REACTON.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Thursday, Monty Thursday, Passover as well. Holy Week is in full force for many people listening here, and we appreciate the opportunity to celebrate alongside of you if that is what you are acknowledging today. Lots of news coming down the pike right now, and we're going to go straight to some coverage here from our partners at Fox News. Pam Bondi out as Attorney General. This just happening right now. And Peter Doocy is giving a report. Todd Blanche is being named as the interim Attorney General. So essentially, the new Attorney General, whomever that happens to be, now that Pam Bondi is out, the new Attorney General will have to be approved by the Senate. And we'll talk about the merits here throughout the course of the show as to who might end up being the next Attorney General appointed. We've got a lot of thoughts on that, and certainly we watched Mark Wayne Mullen take over for Kristi Noem. Man, I said on the air, the 2 weak spots in the cabinet were Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi.
That's exactly what you said.
Because when I said that, I remember specifically articulating, it's not because they're women, because there are a lot of women in the cabinet, in this administration, who are in full flex, killing it at their jobs.
Brooke Rollins, for instance.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Is doing fantastic.
Susie
Tulsi.
Wiles. You've got a lot of women who are involved in this. It's not a female thing, and I say that obviously as a woman myself, but they, to me, were a distraction from the work that was needing to be done. We're going to talk in a minute here about how we feel like this might materialize. Todd Blanche is the interim Attorney General. You have to have somebody in there as an acting Attorney General in the meantime, but President Trump will appoint somebody new, and the Senate will have to confirm them. So we'll go through kind of the same thing that the Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, now Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, went through the hearing process, was confirmed, and is now the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. So let's get to Peter Doocy with Fox News and just kind of follow in here as this live breaking news. Pam Bondi fired as the Attorney General of the United States. Let's listen to the report.
Sandra, I can tell you that I phoned President Trump to ask him, once these reports started coming out, that the Attorney General had been told that her time, it was nearing the end of her time at the Justice Department, and the President said he was preparing some remarks. We think that it is going to be the official announcement about the Attorney General Bondi leaving the Justice Department. She will not be leaving the administration. They are going to find a different job for her. So President Trump thinks that she did a good job. President Trump still likes her, but at this time, he feels like Todd Blanche should be elevated in an interim role. So the plan, at least as of the last couple minutes, and a lot of things are changing, is to name Todd Blanche in an interim role as the country's top law enforcement officer running the Justice Department. We are hearing a lot of different things about why this might happen. We think President Trump will elaborate on that more. But when you talk to people here at the White House, it is very important to them, just to reiterate that there's not bad blood right now with Bondi leaving. And we know that she was in the front row at the president's remarks last night during his address to the nation. So she is somebody that he still wants to have around, but he wants Todd Blanche, who has been with the president during some of the hardest times of his political life, when he was dealing with all these many lawsuits during the 4 years in between his first term and his second term. Todd Blanche was right there with them, fighting on the president's defense, legal defense. And now Todd Blanche gets a crack, at least temporarily, as the Attorney General of the United States.
Peter, we were just showing the video, a reminder to our viewers yesterday, when the president appeared at the Supreme Court to hear the government's arguments in his case. He arrived with Pam Bondi.
Yeah, I wonder what they talked about in the car. because that was just more than 24 hours ago. And again, it seems like she and the president still have a good relationship, but she will no longer be his attorney general.
Yeah, and I know certainly just in the last few days, President Trump has praised her and said Attorney General Pam Bondi, he said, is a wonderful person and she is doing a great job. So certainly still support for her there. When you look back at her time as Attorney General, what sort of stands out to you?
You know, she is somebody who was pretty much in lockstep with President Trump on just about all of his legal priorities, but she wound up taking as much incoming as anybody from congressional Democrats for every time that they would haul her before Congress for whatever the issue was. It seemed like she had to be the one that was taking the most incoming, and she never really deviated from the line that folks here at the White House were using. But it just they want to shake things up, and we expect to hear some specifics about why they want to shake things up. But all that we know at this moment is that the president feels like it is time.
Yeah. And that he informed her last night before the speech. So, Peter, you can obviously hear the media fired up on all sides of you there at the White House. Is the Todd Blanche an interim replacement? Obviously, he's the deputy AG. Or will he step in for the time being? Or is that, do you think, a full-time replacement for Bondi?
I am told that Todd is going to be the temporary replacement, the interim replacement. There are some names that are out there. The New York Times is reporting that Lee Zeldin has talked to the president about the possibility. We know that there are also a bunch of former state attorney generals who are serving as Republicans in the Senate right now. We don't know how seriously President Trump would look at any of them, or if there's somebody from outside the administration, not an elected lawmaker, who the president might like for this. But it is an important job. And the president's going to have some time because he is elevating Todd Blanche, somebody that he has known for a long time, somebody that he really trusts, at least temporarily. And as for what comes next for Bondi, we don't know. But she's not just going home to Florida. She is going to have some other job within the administration. We don't know what that is, and we don't know if she knows what that is, because this is all happening just in the last couple of minutes.
Looks like we're getting a little bit more color on the situation through our reporter Aisha Hassi.
Brad,
she
let's
said she
pause
just spoke
this
with Bondi before.
Let's pause it right now because I might want to come back to it here. You're listening to live coverage of Fox News reporting on the news that President Trump has relieved Pam Bondi of her duties. She has been fired as the Attorney General. And if you're listening to Peter Doocy, as he's delivering his report on it, he said she will likely have another role within the administration, but nobody knows exactly what that is. Todd Blanche is being named as the interim Attorney General, and the whoever President Trump does name in that position will have to go through a full confirmation process in the Senate. So the Fox News report here, Pam Bondi already fired as Attorney General. Cabinet official teed up his replacement, according to sources. EPA Director Lee Zeldin is reportedly being considered as Bondi's replacement after a White House meeting on Tuesday. That's out of left field. President Donald Trump reportedly has already fired Attorney General Pam Bondi, according to two sources familiar with the matter who spoke with Fox News Digital. Bondi met with Trump in the Oval Office Wednesday night ahead of his speech to the nation on the war in Iran, where she reportedly was informed of her ouster. According to two sources familiar with the meeting, one of the sources said that by the time Trump took his place behind the podium for the address, Bondi already lost her job and was on her way back to Florida. That's stone cold. Trump is reportedly considering replacing Bondi with Environmental Protection Agency Director Lee Zeldin. According to the sources familiar with the matter, Trump held a meeting with Zeldin at the White House Tuesday to discuss wildfire and prevention, where talks of the transition also unfolded. Can you imagine being the EPA director and being in there and like, so wildfires? And he's like, so AG.
I saw that same report and I couldn't believe it.
The source relayed to Fox News Digital that Zeldin would be a plausible replacement, adding that Trump could change his mind at any point on who he might appoint. A Justice Department spokesperson denied the reporting when reached for comment. Of course, the AG was with Trump for the speech last night, they added. So this is a Fox News digital report compiled by Caitlin Corrale and Emma Colton. So this is breaking news right now. I'd imagine that what we know about this story at the end of today's show, and before we hand it over to Mark Reardon, what we know then will be a lot more than what we know right now. Donald Trump, generally speaking, puts something on Truth Social that kind of, how would you say, colors inside the lines and maybe a little bit outside of the lines on what the issue is. So you're still watching for a Truth Social post. Mm-hmm. We'll get that when it is delivered. Can you cue up Shannon Bream here? Find where Shannon Bream is talking on this issue. And we're going to take a break because Hans von Spakovsky is going to be with us. Wonderful to be able to speak to somebody who has served in the Department of Justice as a former DOJ lawyer, Hans von Spakovsky himself, a senior legal fellow at the Advancing American Freedom organization, is going to be with us. And we were going to talk about the birthright citizenship case in front of the Supreme Court. We will still do that. We, had a primetime address from President Trump last night. Haven't talked about that yet. So lots to discuss here on the Annie Frey Show today, and we'd love to invite you to stick with us as the news breaks. You're going to hear it right here first on 97.1 FM Talk, the St. Louis Fox News radio affiliate. We're very proud of that, so we will be able to bring you the breaking news as it happens. And a reminder, if you're out and about right now, enjoying a little bit of lunch on a Thursday afternoon, take us back with you. Of course, 97.1 FM on the radio dial, but the Odyssey app, AUDACY. You download that, you find 97.1 FM Talk and the Annie Frey Show, Frey, and we'll be with you wherever you go. Hans von Spakovsky on the firing of the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. She's out. We'll be right back. Home Shield Foundation Repair, add an S, that's the website, homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com. Matt Hayes is ready for your phone call. I know you're not really ready to make the phone call. You found water in your basement and you're ticked about it. I get it. It's not fun. Maybe you've been avoiding it. Maybe you've got that spot in your basement. You kind of move the boxes and the things that are downstairs around that wet spot. You just kind of leave it be. But it's gotten a little bit bigger here lately. The rain has come into the area. You get nervous because that water in your basement, you know it's not just a matter of the wetness. It's degrading the quality of your foundation. Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair, that's the number you're going to want to call. 314-271-9900. Call 314-271-9900 and start with inviting him to your home to look at your wet basement concerns, because he's going to be able to give you a solution. He's going to be able to talk to you about what you're dealing with, and then you can make a great decision to hire Home Shield Foundation Repair afterwards if you feel like it's in the cards, if he does the work to earn your business. I think he will. 314-271-9900, homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to hear you.
Hey, Dad, isn't it good to see ya?
Yep, but with smoke alarms, we need to hear them. If one alarm is downstairs, you might not hear it upstairs.
At school, everyone hears the fire alarm.
That's why we install hardwired smoke alarms that all go off together, just like school.
Smoke alarms done the right way.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Big news happening right before the Annie Frey Show microphones opened at noon. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States, is out. President Trump has relieved her of her duties, has appointed Todd Blanche as the acting Attorney General. And Fox News is reporting rumors that maybe Lee Zeldin might be the person nominated for the job. It's not who I was wanting, but we'll wait and see. This news is very fresh. Let's get to our guest. Our friend Hans von Spakovsky, Advancing American Freedom Senior Legal Fellow, former FEC Commissioner, and a former DOJ lawyer. Hans, this is pretty big news here on a Thursday afternoon. What's your reaction?
Well, there had been rumors circulating around Washington really for the past month that Pam Bondi was not long for the Capitol, so I can't say I'm surprised. And look, I think she's actually done a very good job. But look, you know President Trump, right? He is not a patient man. He is used to, from his days atop his corporate ladder, he's used to giving orders, and he wants to see instant results. And I don't think he was happy with the fact that look, the Justice Department had been filing lots of lawsuits, particularly in the election area. As you know, they filed lawsuit after lawsuit trying to get copies of statewide voter registration lists, and they've simply had one setback after another from often very liberal judges saying, no, you're not entitled to this. And I think that might have fed into the president's dissatisfaction with her. I don't think she's responsible for that. That's the fact that we just have bad liberal judges appointed by folks like Biden and Obama. But I suspect he probably didn't think she moved fast enough on investigating the 2020 election.
Okay, well, that's probably very accurate. That I hadn't really. This news is so fresh. I haven't really fully processed why this might have been decided, at least when it did. There are a lot of things that I felt with the pace with which this administration moves, that the Attorney General's office and the Department of Justice seemed to not be moving as fast as everything else. But I thought maybe the wheels of justice just don't move that fast. Do you feel like somebody else going in there with a different set of priorities or maybe a different skill set will be able to get things moving the way the president wants and the way, honestly, a lot of Americans are asking for them to move?
Well, maybe, but I think a lot of people just don't understand that the Justice Department and the FBI, which is part of it, it is a huge organization, and there's been tremendous resistance inside the Justice Department from the career civil service lawyers. Remember, that's 98% of the employees of that department. Almost all of them are liberal Democrats who frankly work behind the scenes, do everything they can to sabotage what a Republican wants to do, particularly Donald Trump. So could she have moved things along faster? Maybe. But on the other hand, remember, she was the Attorney General of Florida. That she had the kind of experience necessary to run a big legal organization. So I'm just not sure that whoever else they get is going to be able to make the lawyers inside the department move faster.
Yeah. My dream is Ron DeSantis, and I know he's wrapping up his term-limited time as the best governor in the country, in my humble opinion. And he served as a JAG attorney. He has a lot of that experience, and I would love to see him go in there. I don't know if that's likely. They're talking about Lee Zeldin. Do you have any thoughts on Lee Zeldin as a possible fit for this job?
Well, you know, he's actually done a very good job at the EPA. Whether he's got the kind of legal experience necessary to run a huge legal staff, I just don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. And also we have quite a bench here out of the state of Missouri with Senator Eric Schmidt, Andrew Bailey, who's the deputy director of the FBI. Both have served as attorneys general, I should say, here in the state of Missouri. Josh Hawley as well, a former attorney general of the state of Missouri. I don't know what's going to happen next. Can you explain to us a little bit of the constitutional process, the naming of an acting attorney general in Todd Blanche? His name is the one who has been said is going to step into this role right now. But of course, he is the acting attorney general, not the newly confirmed. How will this work, and what kind of timeline do you expect it to take?
Well, I would suspect that, for example, if it's Lee Zeldin, he'll get nominated almost immediately because they won't have to wait for an FBI background investigation. That's the key thing for everybody to remember. Anytime anyone's appointed to a cabinet position, you have to have an FBI background investigation on them. So if he brought in somebody from outside the government, there's no telling how long that would last. But because Zeldin is already inside the government, that's already been done.
Is it outside the federal government? I mean, if you had somebody who was working in state government elsewhere, they are subjected to that process?
Yes, they are. And so the fact that Zeldin was already inside the federal government, that background investigation was already done, and the president could send his nomination to the Senate today or tomorrow, and they could act on it very, very quickly. That's the advantage of him picking somebody already inside his administration.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky, Advancing American Freedom Senior Legal Fellow, on this brand new breaking news that the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, has been fired. She's being replaced. The acting Attorney General at this point is Todd Blanche, and we are waiting to find out in who knows how much time it'll take for him to appoint or nominate, I should say, the next Attorney General of this administration. It's an enormous news 24 hours right now, because what I wanted to talk to you about today was the Supreme Court hearing yesterday surrounding the Birthright citizenship case, the 14th Amendment. And then, of course, the president gave a primetime address last night. Well, I'm seeing a lot of people reacting very cautiously to the Trump side of this, saying that birthright citizenship is not part of the 14th Amendment. I don't feel that I'm getting a lot of feedback from pundits on television or on social media saying that this is in the bag for the Trump side of this argument in front of the Supreme Court yesterday.
No, and we should mention the president was at the arguments yesterday, which is the first time in U.S. history that has occurred, and Pam Bondi also. Look, the administration had an uphill battle going into this case, not because they're wrong on their interpretation of the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, but because the administrative practice of the federal government now for probably 70, 80 years has been to recognize birthright citizenship. I was disappointed in the questioning yesterday that the justices didn't push back hard enough against the ACLU lawyer who basically claimed that, we've had birthright citizenship since the birth of the country. That is historically just not true. But there weren't a lot of questions on it. Look, the biggest fight they had was about, what does domicile mean? Do you have to be domiciled in the U.S. before your son or daughter who's born here could be considered a U.S. citizen? And that seemed to occupy most of their time. I don't know how this is going to come out. They did ask very tough questions of the government, but this is an issue I don't think any of the justices had previously thought about because they just hadn't faced it.
Yeah, I'm putting up I'm looking here at a definition from the dictionary of domicile, and the verb form of it is to treat a specified country as a permanent home. And the word domicile is written and was cited yesterday in conversation quite a bit. And it seemed as though I'm so novice at all of this. I listened and I tried real hard. I said yesterday, it's like getting in an ice bath. Like, you really got to focus and commit to it to listen to these things. And once you get in, you're like, okay, I'm kind of starting to feel good about this. That the idea of domicile, that word specifically, it was not just what does it mean, but is it even contextual to the argument that is being made? Do you feel like they came to a resolution on that issue?
No, although I have to tell you, if the Trump administration doesn't lose this, I think what the court might do is split the baby and give them a partial victory. The path they could take is to say, well, if an alien is in this country legally, he's got a visa, then they do have domicile and their kids are citizens. But if they're in the country illegally, they can't establish domicile in the U.S. because they have no lawful reason to be in the U.S. And that would split like I said, that would split the issue. I don't know whether they'll do that or just go one way or the other entirely for either side.
And the other phrase that was talked about quite a bit leading into the arguments, and then, of course, within the arguments, is that phrase in the 14th Amendment, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Can you talk to us a little bit about why that particular wording was highlighted and discussed so much?
Well, because the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, it has two phrases. To be a citizen, you have to be born in the U.S. and subject to its jurisdiction. And the way they were trying to figure out what subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. government means is, well, if you're domiciled in the U.S., then obviously you're subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. government. If you're not domiciled in the U.S., then perhaps you're not subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. So when they were having that fierce debate, argument, questioning about domicile, they were using that to try to figure out what does the phrase subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. mean. I think what it means is you owe your political allegiance to the U.S. government when you're born. And that is not true of the child of an illegal alien. They owe their political allegiance to the native country of their parents.
Last question before we let you go, Hans. I know that you are not in the minds of all 9 Supreme Court justices, but do you have a hunch on how this is going to be ruled upon?
Well, the 3 liberals obviously will rule against the administration. Gorsuch also, frankly, seemed very skeptical of the administration's position. Even Chief Justice Roberts seemed skeptical. So I don't know whether – I think at the most, if the administration wins, they might get a 5-4 decision, but I could see it easily going the other way.
5-4 one way or the other, though? You think it's going to be a pretty close one?
I suspect so, although if they take the politically correct route, the administration will lose even bigger.
Well, let's hope they take the constitutionally correct route, Hans. Thank you for being with us today. It's always good to speak with you.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye. Advancing American Freedom Senior Legal Fellow, former FEC Commissioner, former DOJ lawyer, Hans von Spakovsky on this very busy news day. I'll even say news hour, as the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, has been fired. Todd Blanche in as the acting Attorney General. And if you're saying, who's Todd Blanche? Don't worry about it. He is in there as a temporary fill-in so that we have an Attorney General. President Trump will nominate his new nominee for the Attorney General position. It will have to go in front of the Senate. There will be a hearing. There will be a vote. There will be a confirmation, probably. And we'll have a new Attorney General. Who will it be? There will be lots of chatter in the next coming hours and potentially days if it takes the president that long. I can't imagine he's going to wait a whole lot on actually executing a new nomination, because we're going to need to get to that. As per usual, President Trump speaks on his platform, Truth Social. Ryan, what do you got?
President Donald Trump on Truth Social says, Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my Attorney General over the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across our country, with murders plummeting to their lowest level since 1900. We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much-needed and important new job in the private sector, to be announced at a date in the near future.
When they find one. Go on.
Yeah. And our Deputy Attorney General and very talented and respected legal mind, Todd Blanche, will step in to serve as acting Attorney General.
Attacking
Attorney General.
That's something Trump would do.
Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
He's a black belt. All right, let's take a break. The YouTube poll for today, a little carryover from yesterday's conversation. I thought, why not just make it a poll so that Ryan can officially win and have the statistics behind it? Where is the most powerful place a United States president can deliver a speech? I hope I worded this correctly. Did I word this correctly for you?
Yeah, that's fair.
So where's the most powerful place a United States president can deliver a speech? That speech that he gave last night or others that he's given, where is he positioned when you feel he brings the full weight of the presidency to that speech? Is it standing at a White House podium, or is it sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or for fun, somewhere else. You can vote that and leave your comments as well. Text us your thoughts at 314-241-9797 on the Annie Frey Show text line and help Ryan and I fight with each other as if we needed help. You prepared to lose?
I am prepared to lose and yet still win.
I feel the same way.
Because I am right.
I feel the same way. Go vote. We're going to need your help on this one. We'll be right back.
A powerful threat calls for a greater response.
When there's a battle, bring strength.
When there's a problem, seek answers.
When there is doubt, give hope.
Not tomorrow.
Not in a few years, but right now.
Some battles must be faced together. Cancer fighters stand up to cancer every day. And you can be part of this battle too.
Visit standuptocancer.org/American Airlines to learn more.
Together, we can save lives.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis roofing, siding, and gutter systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-stl.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
Lifestyles Unlimited wants to help you take control of your financial future. And it starts with real estate. Learn a step-by-step approach to building income. It's the same education that's helped thousands shift how they think about money, wealth, and opportunity. For a limited time, you can join for just $297. Take action today. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007.
We were just talking about the YouTube live chat poll, which is, where is the most powerful place a U.S. president can deliver a speech?
Obviously.
Is it standing at a White House podium? Or
Why
is
you-
it sitting
why you
behind a Resolute desk in the Oval Office?
Actually.
Or is it somewhere else? I don't know.
Why'd you pound the table when you said podium?
I didn't do. I'm not doing anything. Nothing that you're perceiving is true.
I think it's a lot of projection.
You were projecting.
Mm-mm.
You were. Yes, you were. 1236. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We haven't even talked about the speech last night.
No, I guess we haven't.
President Trump gave a primetime address last night. What's cut 3? I'm looking at these. I'm just going to be honest. Why did he give that speech last night?
Yeah, I don't really know. I didn't watch it, but I read the transcript.
You did not.
I did. I'm not kidding. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was
you
like,
read a transcript of a Trump speech?
I've been falling asleep so early that
You could be better than the governor of California. He can't even do that.
I know. That's what I was thinking the whole time, too.
I think I was 90% focused on what he was saying, but I didn't feel like he said anything that he hadn't been saying already. And my reaction to the speech was he doesn't like the way other people are talking about it, so he wanted to primetime correct the record. I didn't feel like there was news.
News happens this way with Trump a lot. And I don't know if it's because he's so he talks to the media so much.
Yeah,
and it's
he's
so
so
accessible. He tweets. He's constantly telling you what's going on or what's on his mind. But this happens a lot with Trump, where he will say something early in the day or kind of hint at something, and you'll go, okay, that's big news. And then he's said, well, I'm going to talk about it at 7, or I'm going to talk about it later today in a cabinet meeting or whatever. Well, by the time he talks about it in the meeting, you've already heard what he had to say because he's hinted the whole thing. So that's what I thought this was too.
I wanted this to be not a fork in the road, but I wanted this to be the roadmap. I wanted to come into the speech and have a bunch of questions and leave having at least one of the main questions definitively answered.
Didn't this kind of answer the boots on the ground question, though?
In what way?
Well, if we're going to draw this thing down in 2 to 3 weeks, then we're not going to have an ongoing presence there.
We have ongoing presences all around the world, all of the time.
But not in Iran.
I actually think that as some semblance of, I don't know what I'm talking about, but the phrase boots on the ground in and of itself means so many different things to so many people that really the intention of saying boots on the ground to me is only used in a political capacity.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do we want to have people stationed in the Middle East? Yeah. We have nuclear submarines all over the world so we can pop off the second we need to. We need to be everywhere. So if there were an instance where we had boots on the ground because now we can in Iran, because it's now potentially safe.
Like we have a base
and
there.
and I'm talking like
I see what
way
you're
on the
saying.
other
I
side.
see what you're saying.
That's going to turn it, like there are going to be people who hate that because it's just simply easy to say Trump sucks because the boots on the ground in Iran. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't think he gave any answers. I feel like the administration continually talks openly and vaguely like they have all of the options at their fingertips, which I think is smart tactics. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have an issue with the president continuing to say, we can do this, we can do that. We bombed all their stuff. They can't. What are they going to do? Shoot BB guns at us? He said that to a reporter in the Oval Office, who the reporter said to President Trump, Iran is threatening to blah, blah, blah. And Trump cuts her off. Her, right? Was it a female?
I didn't hear the question.
I think it was a female.
I saw it, but I didn't hear her.
Cuts her off and says, Iran threatens us. I haven't heard this. Tell me, what do you know? What are they
what's the threat?
What are they threatening us with? And she starts to restate her question. In the video I saw, the reporter was off camera, so I'm not 100% sure it's female, but I'm just assuming it was. And there's whatever. And he just keeps going in like, they can't threaten us. What are they threatening us with? BB guns? My concern is that they are not going to have any missiles left. They're not going to have any bombs left. But the technical prowess of cyber warfare is something that could be incapacitating to an entire country. And that might be able to be done from somebody's basement from a computer. I don't know. I mean, that's the type of thing. I'm like, yay, no nukes. High fives all around, guys. Great work. But what about that? What about the cyber warfare element?
Well, they still have something working like that because they hacked Kash Patel's email or something recently, and it didn't really produce anything.
I was going to say, I feel like the fallout of that was it happened. Kash Patel's a human who takes photos in places that he goes.
Yeah, there wasn't anything there. The worst I saw from that was him doing kind of a funny Bollywood dance in his living room. They found a video.
Gasp.
And it was like, okay, if that's the worst you got.
I just didn't think, I did not walk away from that speech feeling like I was given clarity on any particular one of the issues. I do, and this is saying I went into this and I left it, I still trust Trump. I still trust the administration. I still think that they know what they're doing, and I still think that they have a righteous cause. I'm not questioning any of that. And I also fully understand that Annie Frey, sitting in Madison County, Illinois, doesn't need to understand every inch of this war in order for it to be a smart move. As I've said a million times, the question comes down to, do you trust Trump? Do you trust this administration? And I do. I know that a lot of you out there 100% don't, or you're very skeptical about this. So I respect everybody's different positions on that particular issue, but I just didn't feel like I got done with that speech and I was like, I know, I get why he did this.
I get that. The one thing that I took away from that whole speech last night, and again, it's because he's saying it multiple times, not just because of that speech. But what I took away was that this is not going to last that long.
But that's what he's been saying the whole time.
Agreed.
From day one.
Agreed. But he's making it official now by putting it into a dress.
No, it's not any more official. If he would have come and say, I said this was going to be 4 to 6 weeks and we will be fully withdrawing this Friday, blah, 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 which I think would be a dumb thing to say.
I do too.
So what's the point? What's the point? I feel like he didn't feel like he had to control enough of the narrative, so he thought if he said it extra loud in prime time, maybe that would help. And I don't know that he hurt his cause, because I don't think public opinion here, this is what we keep hearing from our military people. We had General Kellogg on yesterday, who gave us a very hawkish and I thought well thought out perspective on what needs to be done here from a military mind who's seen a few things and understands war and combat and conflict and religious zealotry in government that's purpose of existence is death to the infidels, which is America. I don't know that public opinion, I do not want a president who's doing what he's doing right now in Iran. I do not want him looking to public opinion to make decisions. He has to have a principled goal and direction, surrounded by advisors who are understanding that as the situation moves forward, circumstances and context can change and you can continue to adapt as you go, but it shouldn't be because somebody in a swing state is shaking their fist at the sky. Is that wrong?
No. But do you think that you don't think that's what's happening here?
I feel like Donald Trump wanted people to agree with him.
So this is a little bit about public perception. It's got to be gas prices, right? I mean, that's the only thing pushing.
But that's not what he was talking about. I mean, he is talking about he's talking about the economy, he's saying that we're going to get back to the economy. It's going to be better than it ever has been. I believe all of that stuff. He's been saying all of that stuff. To me, to say it, to captivate the nation in a primetime address while we are at war in Iran, and to not give something that is definitively explanatory or new information, for me, I'm not criticizing the mission. I'm not criticizing his purpose, his intent. I think he is doing the right thing. I felt like this was done for politics, and I don't think that it accomplished. For me, I don't feel like I listen to that speech and can go to somebody who's doubting what's going on and say ABC because of what we heard last night. Now we know, fill in the blank here, and persuade my friend who disagrees with what's going on that maybe their perception of what's going on isn't accurate.
I think you can say that. I think you can say to people now, this is not going to last that long.
He said it from the second that we've been reporting on it. He said it every time. That man is never more than 6 feet away from a camera and a microphone that will stop the presses to broadcast what he's calling reporters. He's having phone calls with people and having off-the-record conversations and on-the-record conversations over and over and over again. And he said that every single time he's had the opportunity to do it. So saying it again in a primetime address doesn't make it official. It's not anymore. It's not. You put it in bold face. It's still the same words that he's been saying this whole time. Do you think he made any big waves last night? Do you feel like the primetime address last night, Brad?
That changed anything? No, he didn't change anything with that. I mean, Ryan, to your point, what does not that long even mean? It could.
Well, he said 2 to 3 weeks, but I wouldn't hold even to that.
He's not going to put it's going to last this long because right now Iran's strategy is hang on and hope that he gets bored with us. So he's not going to
hope that the American public gets angry with him and he decides to go the way of politics instead of the way of purpose.
So he's not going to put that date on there. So what we know is we're close. We don't know how long that is. We've had a lot of success, which everything that he said last night to me, at least, was the exact same thing that he's been saying.
Did you talk to him?
Were you texting with him?
And you didn't get him on the show?
I'm sorry.
Ask him next
wasn't
time
available.
He's texting with you.
That's why he hasn't been on the show. He's talking to Brad.
Brad never asks.
It's like, listen, this isn't right for you.
Can we
right
just
now.
keep this between us bros?
Listen, Brad,
Don?
I'm going to talk to the nation tonight. I'm going to need you to know a couple things ahead of time, though.
And he told me.
And he said, Ryan's going to say something tomorrow. It's going to be wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And Brad's like, I need you to hone it down. Which segment?
Listen, Brad, tomorrow, Annie's going to say that Ryan did something wrong.
Not today. No. He couldn't predict that.
No.
The YouTube poll, we're asking where's the most powerful place the United States president can deliver a speech? Standing at a White House podium like he did last night, or sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or somewhere else. YouTube.com/@Annie Frey. Go vote. We'll be right back.
Never miss a beat. Take 97.1 FM Talk with you. The voices you trust, Mark Cox, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon, Scott Jennings, and more are just a tap away with the Odyssey app. Stream 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. When you're injured in a car accident, insurance adjusters are not on your side. They're always adjusting their settlement offers, lower and lower. We'll get your settlement higher and higher. Call 314-777-7777.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins with a man's jam.
All right, so these are ways to make yourself more respected. Figured this room could use this. Number one.
Like I said, projection.
And I think these are good. All right, everybody's laughing, but listen to what the article says here.
Source?
Your Tango.
Are you serious? You're serious.
Ways to be more respected.
Regularly do things that frighten you.
To be more respected?
You're making yourself more respected. Your self-respect.
I don't know. I would say flying in an F-18 with the Blue Angels was the pinnacle of that. I don't want to know what trumps that in my life.
I like that.
But I did that because of peer pressure from my family.
But you did it, and it frightened you.
Heck yeah,
it did. You came away with a lot of self-respect for it, and maybe even outward express.
I had a lot of respect for gravity.
Brad, you go to haunted houses much?
No.
Because that would check this box.
Isn't the point of do things that frighten you? Isn't the point to do hard things?
Well, it's to expand your horizons.
I don't know that haunted houses is really.
What if you're really scared of them?
The 40. Well, then don't go. Why would you give yourself nightmares? I don't need to go to haunted houses.
Well, that's why you should go then, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it?
So
yeah,
cheesy.
Your Tango said yes.
They're so cheesy.
They're not cheesy. They're scary.
They're chasing
They're
you with
super scary. I'm not interested in that at all.
A chainsaw. It doesn't have a chain on it, but you don't even know that because it's so dark in there.
You know my haunted house story, right? I was going through a haunted house with some friends in high school, and you know how you go through and some halls are wide and some are narrow, and you're just navigating through or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to be at the front or the back. I don't want to be the first
Nobody
one.
does.
I don't want to be the last one. Somehow or another, we made a turn. There were 4 of us girls. We made a turn, and they all went sprinting down this skinny hall, and they got ahead of me. We were kind of spread out, and the actor thought that we had all passed, and so he opened the door to sneak up behind him, and he smacked me right in the face because I was still behind him. He didn't realize it.
See, that's scary.
No, that was painful, and I yelled at him, and he apologized.
Really?
Yeah, he definitely broke character.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then I just joked the rest of the way out, which is my way of coping.
That's what I did the one time I went to a haunted house with
Who
a
would
whole
be
bunch
funnier
of
in a
people.
haunted house, you or me?
You. Yeah, because you'd be so nervous and you'd be on throwing out jokes left and right. And be like, never seen this side of Annie. I do that all the time.
It wouldn't be FCC appropriate, that's for sure.
That's okay. I think I know what we need to do.
Just say some prayers later.
To gain self-respect. This says slow down your speech and movements.
Yeah.
Okay. I had...
Slow down a little bit.
I've been in meetings before where the person in the meeting just kind of sat there and listened and rarely spoke.
Mhm.
And I thought,
It's mysterious.
that's a good strategy because it makes you seem more respected. And it makes the other person talk and fill in the gap more.
People hate silence.
Yeah, they do. Make yourself occasionally...
So does the sound alarm.
Scarce. Yeah, we would do it longer for the joke, but we can't. We get
Scarce.
flagged. Make yourself occasionally scarce.
Yeah. Don't be a tryhard.
Don't be a tryhard. You got it. Become consistent.
Did you know I work for Your Tango?
Who's this written by?
Don't tell Steve. Manny.
Danny Fried. That's weird. Sounds like your name.
It's not. I'm a lady.
Yeah, this is obviously some guy named Danny Fried. Become consistent in something useful. Don't waste your time on crap.
It's weird that they made that the fourth one.
Someone once said that something changed my entire life. It was knowing you are becoming increasingly useful.
Be unreplaceable.
It's very true. Reprioritize your highs. I think this is a great piece of advice.
Clarify.
Many of us irrationally do things that don't actually make us feel good. We do it because of short-term pleasure. What if you saw the high from a bad habit is actually avoidance of something that is going to give you long-term highs?
Like drugs?
I mean, yeah, it could be. But
Not excluded.
Anything that's bad for you, that's good, that you feel good in the short term, but it's bad for you long term.
So the piece of cake versus the 20-minute walk.
Something like that, yeah. But then you have to change your reward system to get there. Make peace with those you hate.
I don't know if you have to make peace with them, but you might have to make peace about them.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Develop emotional control. I think this seems pretty obvious. And the last couple before we get to the top here is regularly do hard things. I think that kind of goes in that same first category. Scare yourself once in a while. Do something you're not accustomed to.
Is regularly do hard things in there twice?
No.
Like
the
hard
first one
things
was
could be...
regularly do things that frighten you.
Oh,
It's similar.
I said that doing things that are frightening is doing hard things.
Yeah, yeah. And the last one is become unreasonably upbeat.
Oh, man, I know some people like that. I am envious of them and a little annoyed by them.
But you respect them.
I do, because I don't think that's an easy thing to do.
It's not.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back in the next hour, we're going to talk to Deroy Murdock. Let's talk to you about your thoughts on President Trump's speech last night. Text us or call us at 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. How about you up next?
Here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
If you need a garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of your choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, the doctors, or just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000, the doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Bersati, Dr. Andy Royer. 314-966-5000 is their phone number. 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates experts. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or visit them online, youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, quarter-mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
If anyone calls or messages you about investing your money and promises quick profits, guaranteed returns, or can't miss opportunities, stop. Don't fall for the call. I'm Denny Hoskins, Missouri Secretary of State. Our office regulates investing and works to protect investors. Call the Missouri Securities Hotline at 800-721-7996 or visit MissouriProtectsInvestors.com. Paid for by the Missouri Investor Education and Protection Fund. This is a public service announcement.
The pressure on data centers has never been greater. Whether you're expanding capacity, supporting AI workloads, or building new facilities, Graybar works alongside you with the solutions, specialists, and logistics expertise you need today. We help you power performance every step of the way, so your operation is ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Cabinet shakeup. I'm Lisa Brady. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is out less than a month after the head of Homeland Security was ousted, with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to serve as interim AG. But President Trump just posting, "We love Pam," calling her a great American patriot and a loyal friend.
When you talk to people here at the White House, it is very important to them that there's not bad blood right now with Bondi leaving. And we know that she was in the front row at the president's remarks last night during his address to the nation. So she is somebody that he still wants to have around, but he wants Todd Blanche, who has been with the president during some of the hardest times of his political life, when he was dealing with all these many lawsuits during the 4 years in between his first term and his second term. Todd Blanche was right there with them, fighting on the president's defense, legal defense.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. As for a possible different role for Bondi in the Trump administration, the president's post says she'll transition to a much needed and important new job in the private sector to be announced in the near future. The president says Bondi did a tremendous job overseeing a federal crime crackdown. She had faced scrutiny over the handling of some other issues, including the Epstein files, and the president has lost some high-profile cases lately, including reciprocal tariffs being struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. One House Democrat just posting Bondi's ouster won't get her out of testifying for a House panel's Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Democrats say Republicans are caving after the Senate again sent to the House a bill to partially fund DHS, but Senate Majority Leader John Thune tells Fox,
they wanted all these restrictions on law enforcement agencies, on ICE and CBP. They got none of that.
Republicans now plan to fund immigration enforcement separately, and the president says he'll order that more DHS workers get paid. In the meantime, America is listening to Fox News.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. There'll be a couple of showers, couple of thunder showers, but the action is limited. 79. It's windy tonight. Couple of showers and thunderstorms around. 62. Friday, partly sunny, but still some showers and thunderstorms around. 83. Saturday, keep it unsettled. Sunday, though, for Easter is dry. It's sunny and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get a free air scrubber and breathe healthy indoor air when you replace your HVAC system. Plus, you may qualify for rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing up to 72 months. For a free estimate, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For the sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
So last night, the president delivers an address to the nation in prime time. And side note, he did it from a podium, which is what Ryan said you wanted him to do last night, right?
Wanted and predicted.
Yeah. Our YouTube poll for today is we're asking you, where's the most powerful place a United States president can deliver a speech? Standing at a White House podium, that's what he did last night, or sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or maybe you think it's somewhere else. YouTube.com/@AnnieFrey. I'm going to play a little clip here from the speech last night. We're going to talk about our thoughts on the message that he delivered and the necessity of it. And we'll take your phone calls and text messages as well. Ryan's got some texts lined up. If you want to give us a call, happy to take them here at 314-241-9797. The call line and the text line the same about President Trump's speech, 314-241-9797. Let's listen in here to the president as he was speaking last night.
And it's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before.
So you have President Trump speaking and talking about the extent of last night's summation, why we were doing it, how long some of these other conflicts have lasted. And I just, my assessment of the speech after I got done with it is I thought, I don't know what the headline is here. I think that's kind of the way to explain my takeaway. I don't know what news was just made tonight. I don't think that there was news that was made.
I don't think there was anything new. I think it was just a clarity of, because he talks so much to media, sometimes some of that stuff gets a little lost. And I thought that was him saying, push everything aside. Here's what I'm saying officially. Listen to this.
I don't think it was a good decision to give the speech. I don't think that he should be doing primetime addresses to reinforce what he's said over and over and over again, because if he believes in what he's doing, he should just keep doing that. Well, give us some of the thoughts on the text line, 314-241-9797. Ryan's got the text on the Annie Frey Show text line. You can call us at that number, 2314. You can call us at that number also.
I'm going to start
314-241-9797.
With a text from Dale here, and I only know your name if you put it in the text, by the way.
But we love to have them.
Yeah, you're free to put that in there.
Give yourself one of those good old-fashioned radio nicknames.
Sure. Or you can just be Dale. That's fine, too.
Driving Dale.
Dale says, and I'm starting with this one because I think he's kind of echoing what you're saying in a way. He says, I believe that speech was meant to reach the major network audience that only hear trash talk about him and his plans. Is that what you're kind of saying?
I mean, you're going to reach people who are not making an attempt to hear what President Trump has to say about any of it, and you're going to interrupt the Masked Singer, their favorite show, to do it. I don't think that's the right move.
Next one says, I think Trump was a little bland. He should have spent that time on the Strait of Hormuz and put more stipulations on the neighbors taking it over.
And I don't think he needs to do that and address the American people. Yeah, it is true that if you're speaking in a primetime address from the White House as the President of the United States, you're speaking to the world. And you might very well use that as an opportunity for the world to hear you. But we've kind of come in pretty hot here. I think people are listening. To Dale's comment there, if you're not paying attention, if you're formulating opinions on what the president is doing in this administration, and you're not learning details that formulate those opinions, a lot of those people are formulating their opinions because they love everything Trump does. They hate everything Trump does. Those opinions are preformed. You name the problem, the issue, I will tell you where those people are actually going to land. I don't understand. This is kind of like voting. You know how everyone's like, everybody needs to vote. And I'm like, if you're not informed, if you're not taking the time, everybody gets a vote. You certainly have one. But if you don't use the opportunity to educate yourself and understand what you're doing, I'm not begging you to show up to vote. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. Another text here I'm going to read from John from Fenton says, the part of President Trump's speech that bothers me is when he stated that we are energy independent. If this is true, why are we paying more for gas? It doesn't make sense. He should force big oil companies to bring the price back down. They are gouging us. That is certainly the way that most Americans are interacting with this war, is gas prices. I had this very discussion with my wife last night. She sent me a picture at some point during the day of how much she spent on gas. And she said, when is this going to end?
Yeah.
And I said, well, Trump's given an address tonight. Maybe something will change. That didn't change. In fact, markets reacted kind of negatively to it. So what John is saying is very true. And maybe that is what Trump's ultimate goal here is, because he's saying, well, I'm going to focus on the domestic part of this. But the gas prices is the main way people are noticing that this exists.
To that point, if gas prices weren't up, nobody would have some sort of principled thought on this issue, which means that if the gas prices are going up or if they're staying down, that the point, we're not doing what we're doing for gas prices. It has nothing to do with what we're doing.
No.
We're not engaging in a conflict in Iran so we can have cheaper gas prices. So if that's the case, then a consequence of this action, if deemed a worthy cause by the administration and those who have the full picture of intelligence to denuclearize Iran, who wants to kill us, so they say that they have, they say that they had, they've obviously threatened the United States of America over and over and over again. And they were working very much towards the ability to do that. And, there are other places. If they nuke Israel, are we involved in war? You're darn right we are. So if that's a worthy cause and gas prices go up, you can't have it happen forever because you will lose the politics of it, and that's what happens in a republic. But if the gas prices go up for a moment in time, and that's going to happen, President Trump has said in his repeated remarks that they've actually not, everything's gone up, but not as much as he thought it would. He's actually said the lookout on outlook, on what we're experiencing economically is actually better than he anticipated. Then you don't worry about what people say, winning hearts and minds. When there are hearts and minds, you're never, ever, ever going to win. Do the job, get the job done, get out of there. And then if President Trump's commitment that he said is accurate, and I believe him when he says that, gas prices are going to come down, and he says they're going to be lower than when we started.
One last point on the gas prices that has been really interesting to me is the oil production coming out of Iran hasn't really affected gas prices at all. It's just the ability to move oil by Iran that has affected gas prices.
The whole foreign policy makeup of who's on whose side right now is reshaping.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions that are being asked, and there's huge consequences to the actions that are taking place here. But it does seem as though the president and his administration are they seem to be pretty clear-eyed that the goal that they are engaging in is one that is going to generationally benefit the United States of America. Let's talk to John. John, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What are your thoughts on the speech last night and the war in general? Is John turned up over there? Is he up on the board? Mm-hmm. John, can you hear us? I'm going to put him back on hold. Let's see if we can check him. Daniel, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
What do you think about the president's speech last night and the war?
Well, I think the president's speech was real good and let people who didn't already know how it was going, pretty much how it was going militarily.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, because of the nature of what we're dealing with the religion and the way they feel, they feel if you're not, a Muslim and stuff, you got a target on your back. It doesn't matter, So what's going to happen is the sleeper cells that are over here because of Biden's, letting everybody come over here, and there was a bunch of sleeper cells, I'm sure, that came in. We're going to see more stuff like 9/11. We're going to really, really have to vet those people good and get the ones that are bad actors out of here.
I pray. Thank you, Daniel, for the phone call. Thanks for listening as well. I do worry about the sleeper cells. It's kind of like I was talking about with the cyber warfare. While we're taking out their missiles and their nukes, that's not the only way that they can bring danger or whatever to our shores. Let's get to Andrew here. Andrew, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What are your thoughts on the speech and the conflict in Iran?
Well, I think I'm kind of siding with you, Annie. I think the speech was kind of repetitive. It's if you're paying attention, it's the same thing he's been saying all the time. I don't think it needed a primetime address. Also, I think if you really want to have an effect for a primetime address, do it behind the Resolute desk.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, come on.
Hi, Andrew's my favorite listener. Thank you. Yeah.
You had my respect for a minute, but...
But the whole war with Iran, I think this is all a 4D chess move. He's exposing NATO as a paper tiger, and how when we needed help from our allies, they were not there, and when our allies need help, we're always there. And I think he's trying to either A, restructure NATO, or B, have us entirely pull out, or C, even create a Middle East NATO in the end. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Andrew, thanks for the phone call, and thanks for being awesome. Bye.
Okay, he regained my respect because I think that comment at the end was very well thought out.
Well, he is clearly consistently correct.
And also, he's right about the Board of Peace. Nobody's talking about that the Board of Peace that Trump has put together already.
The Board of Peace is different, though. That is a Gaza-Israel thing.
Yes.
That is a separate entity than what is forming right now with the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and all the other places in this area. They're all swirling in the same. They all are like, we have a lot of similar interests here.
Yes. But I mean, there are nations that are getting involved in the Gaza Board of Peace that have almost nothing to say about Gaza.
Let's go to John. John, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What are your thoughts?
Good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon, folks.
I agree that prime time was not the place for it.
Yeah.
The other gentleman that talked about being behind the desk was a good idea. It gives him more appearance of authority, I think.
Behind the desk?
Now, yes, behind the desk.
Yes.
It puts him in his place instead of standing up behind a podium.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's going after Iran, which is needed to be done for so long, and doing it this way, it kind of brings to mind a German tactic from the early part of World War II. And I hesitate to use the name because it is so closely associated with the Nazis, but the Lightning War, the Blitzkrieg. And we're hitting them fast and hard and knocking them down so that they cannot recover.
Yeah, and that's what everyone continues to say. John, thank you for listening. Thank you for the phone call and for the support. When people are talking about this war and saying you have to see it all the way through, the speech last night made me feel like it was kind of a political move to win a little public support. And a lot of people are saying he was able to speak last night to people who may not have known the full details. I guess I have this presupposition that the people who don't know the details, they already have their mind made up on Trump, and him interrupting their primetime television show is not something that's going to make them go, oh, well, I didn't know that. I just feel like there are so few people who could consume new information and process the information right now on something like this. Donald Trump and war.
Do we know how long the speech was last night?
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I'm guessing.
It would have been like one full half-hour block.
At the beginning of The Masked Singer, well, I was flipping through channels or whatever, and or maybe I saw it on X or something, but it was like, The Masked Singer will air in its entirety. It basically saying it was going to pause. You weren't going to miss anything.
So they were going to start it after the Trump speech.
Yeah, unless it didn't start, at 8 o'clock immediately. Did you have something you wanted to read?
Go ahead. I'll hold on.
I was going to say, I got a couple more phone calls here. Dan, thanks for calling the show. What are your thoughts on the speech last night?
I thought it was an amazing speech, and I'm really happy that this operation is going. I'm immigrated from the Middle East. My family did, and
from what area?
We could not be more happier. From Iraq. We went from Iraq and fled to Jordan, and then from Jordan we fled to the United States under persecution.
Wow. What can we ask, like, when this was?
It was like, I think we got here in like 2001 or 2002.
Really?
It was so long ago.
Yeah. And what do you feel about the president's willingness to do what he's doing in trying to, the words they use is decapitate Iran?
I could not be happier, and my family could not be happier. Like we were celebrating when the operation started. We're like, finally, like, thank God, because we got to understand that this is not a government. These are a group of clerics who actually believe in an apocalyptic view of the world. They don't care about like modern things. Again, this is you're not dealing with normal people, and I'm glad most of them are toast. I couldn't be more happier. This is going to provide a lot of stability, I think, in the Middle East, and I really, really want the president to finish the job. It's kind of like the way I look at Trump is the way I looked at, when I studied in America, I learned about Winston Churchill and how no matter what the British went through, he said, we're not going to give up. And I think, we're not obviously in that same situation, but pushing and finishing the job is the way to go. We cannot let them survive. That's their only goal, is to survive. If they survive, they can claim victory. And a side note, if we had the media we had today, back then, we would have lost World War II. I cannot despise the media more than anyone.
Dan,
sorry about that.
No, I appreciate that. Those are all great points. This is an incredible call. I really want to thank you for listening to our show. I'm glad you're out there, and I appreciate that you were willing to call us and tell us your story, because that is a perspective that I think a lot of people need to hear and can glean from.
Oh, yeah. My family, our extended family, everyone we know in our community are in favor of this, and we want him to finish the job.
Dan, thank you for the call. It's good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Take care. Let's do one more before we break here. Barbara, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Your thoughts on the speech last night and the president's efforts in Iran?
Well, I was a little bit disappointed. I would have liked to have heard more about a timeline on when we would be pulling out. I guess that didn't come across to me. I'm encouraged by the fact that this is being done because Iran has been a severe threat to us. I have thoughts that, and I've known everything that he has talked about because I've kept myself informed. But there might be a certain percentage of the population who doesn't know that, and that this filled in the gaps. For those who haven't been following it. So I thought that was an excellent idea.
Barbara, thank you for the phone call. Thanks for listening to the show. We're grateful for you.
All right, thank you.
I
listen every day.
Well, we love you for it, Barbara. We love to be able to keep you company. Thanks for being out there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm probably just too cynical. Maybe there are people who this cut through to last night that
they weren't news heavy and they got a dose of here's the point.
I do hear you folks saying that there, one caller there, it might have been Dan, that said, it was a little bit repetitive, but I'm paying attention to things. It would only be repetitive if you're plugged in. If you're not plugged in, then it would be new information, which is kind of what you were saying earlier. I'm just questioning how people value an interruption like that to say those types of things.
As long as he doesn't overdo primetime addresses, because that, of course, is a possibility that he would. Let's say we have huge news in 2 weeks. Well, if last night's speech didn't give people the idea that, that was a major national important news that we needed to hear, then the networks are going to stop carrying it. So you got to watch that too.
Yeah, I just feel like that is such a tender respect that has to be had to tell people, you need to stop what you're doing at 8 o'clock tonight and listen to what the president has to say. That's what I'm feeling. So when that happens and the world stops to listen to what the president has to say, it better be something that in my opinion, it needs to be something that you couldn't have had, you couldn't have heard, you wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have stopped in that moment. And for me, that wasn't that, but maybe for a lot of other people it was. The YouTube poll, the most powerful place the United States president can deliver a speech, standing at the White House podium, sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or somewhere else. YouTube.com/@Annie Frey. Go vote. We're going to speak with Deroy Murdock in just a few minutes. Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage and a bagel loan. Smart move. Make that phone call. Send that text 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And talk to Stewie about the mortgage that you're trying to secure. That brand new one for a beautiful new home you're ready to purchase. Are you downsizing? Are you growing? Are you relocating for work or convenience? Whatever it might be. You're getting a new house? You're going to need a new mortgage. A lot of times there will be a mortgage lender that's associated with the other people you're working with on that home purchase. Just give Stewie a call before you make a decision on which lender you actually choose. A bagel loan, only available at Stewart's American Mortgage, is a mortgage loan that you don't have to pay closing costs on. You don't pay any closing costs on a bagel loan. 314-324-4440. And yes, you can use a bagel loan for a refinance, even a cash out refinance on your current home. Is it time to tap into some of that equity? Reach out to Stewie and find out. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Hey, it's Mark Cox here with my friend and trusted realtor Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, we've worked together for 6 years now. You have 23 years of experience with your Guaranteed Sold program, but many don't know you also have a Guaranteed Multiple Cash Offer program for serious sellers.
That's right. Some sellers are looking for speed, certainty, and to avoid repairs and open houses. I just helped a family in December to sell their parents' estate. They chose me because I offered 4 cash offers at our first meeting, which gave them options picking the best cash offer. Whether it's multiple cash offers or my Guaranteed Sold program, my sellers are always in control to sell fast and for the most money. It's my guarantees and my buyers in waiting program that set me apart from other realtors.
Take it from me. Call Gloria Liu right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree upon price and possession date.
We've been here 30 years.
30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Attorney General Pam Bondi has been relieved of her duties. We do not have Attorney General Pam Bondi any longer. Todd Blanche, who's the Deputy Attorney General, has been named Acting Attorney General. But Acting Attorney General isn't the final say. The people have the final say in by way of confirmation through the Senate. So the question is, where will President Trump go next? Can I implore any more passionately and deeply to please consider appointing Ron DeSantis to be the Attorney General of the United States? I just can't. If Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State and Ron DeSantis is the Attorney General in a Donald Trump presidency, that's my fantasy team.
Let's set aside tomorrow and just do 3 hours on it. Because if you go passionate and harder, maybe the word will get out.
There's this girl in St. Louis. Big DeSantis fan.
Mr. President.
Mr. President. Yeah, exactly. So what will happen next? There are some names being floated out there like Lee Zeldin, who with the EPA. I don't know if that is something that somebody jumped on to get a scoop and put it out there. Fox News is reporting that he's being considered. Of course, it's got to get confirmed in the Senate. And as we heard from Hans von Spakovsky a little bit earlier in the show, if you're from somebody who's already within the federal government, the administration, they've already had all the FBI vetting that needs to happen, which takes a little time, I'd imagine, especially for a position like Attorney General. So how will the administration go? We're not sure. But the news of the day, big news of the day, President Trump has fired Attorney General Pam Bondi. Let's get our guest on here. Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, and Fox News contributor. Deroy, welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Hey, it's great to be with you.
What are your thoughts? I'm going to ask you about Pam Bondi on her ouster from this administration and the position of Attorney General.
Well, it's funny. I've made the comment a couple of times that it's very hard to keep up with the Trump administration because every minute it's something else. So I walked out of my apartment, had a medical appointment, and everything was calm and nice. People were talking about the speech last night. As I'm walking into the Fox News building at about 1:45, about 45 minutes ago, I see Pam Bondi fired. I go, well, brand new story. Here we go. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is definitely big news today. I had heard some rumblings about people being not so thrilled with Pam Bondi, not because of a lack of enthusiasm or lack of support for President Trump, but we have had a number of instances where, especially with the U.S. attorneys who've been named, like Ms. Haba in New Jersey, another woman whose name escapes me right now in Virginia, and they were there doing their jobs, and then they were told they weren't appointed correctly. There was some problem with the paperwork or some procedure, whatever, and those folks had to leave. And so some stumbles like that, I imagine those sorts of things might have frustrated President Trump. I believe he was at the Supreme Court yesterday when the Birthright citizenship case was being presented to the court, and I heard a comment here on Fox News that he wasn't terribly thrilled with the way the case was being presented. Maybe he was frustrated that this important case was not going more smoothly. Who knows how the justice ultimately will prevail? But I guess the courtroom presentation wasn't quite up to President Trump's appreciation or preference or whatever, according to the story I saw. So maybe that was maybe the final straw that let people think he needs to change things around. But I don't think it's something like she's been disloyal or acting inappropriately or doing anything wrong per se, but maybe just thinks maybe that, there could be stronger leadership at DOJ than she's been able to provide.
Yeah, we read the Truth Social post from President Trump. It was actually very kind and flattering to Pam Bondi, and said she was going to go work in the private sector at a position that had not been publicly named yet. I'm curious if she has that private sector job lined up already. But, I think about the number one criticism of this presidency from the leftists that are out there constantly trying to bring people back to the attention of one particular subject matter, the Epstein files. There's never really any substance that's provided in that leftist jab towards the administration or Donald Trump specifically, but there is this kind of air of the Trump administration has tried to cover up the Epstein files. And I'm looking back at the way Pam Bondi handled that particular issue, and it felt like it could have been handled better, kind of created a story where maybe it didn't need to be created, kind of a distraction. I'm just curious, from whoever becomes the next Attorney General, Deroy, are there areas where you'd really like them to key in and focus and try to get to the bottom of some of these things where a lot of people are saying we should start seeing arrests here?
Good point. On the first part about Epstein, I think that early on there was some question about, when are the files going to come out, or will they come out, and back and forth, and that could have been handled, I guess, a bit more smoothly. I do know that the left said, there was a cover-up, we want the files, and then as soon as the files would come out, hundreds of thousands of pages, there was a complaint among some of the victims that their names were mentioned, and then it's like, why did you put the names in? Why did you leave the names in? Well, you're screaming for millions of pages to come out. It's not surprising that some of the names will slip through if you're trying to get all these pages out as rapidly as possible. So again, they're a perfect example of how the left is not happy when Trump doesn't do A, he does A, and they say, why are you doing A? So this is their usual behavior. Whoever the new Attorney General is, whether it's interim Attorney General Todd Blanche becoming permanent Attorney General, I think Lee Zeldin is fantastic. I think he'd make a great Attorney General. He's an extremely capable and talented young man, and very energetic and hardcore. I think he'd be terrific. And one area that needs to be worked on is to get justice for victims of weaponization and lawfare. I'm talking about people like Michael Caputo, an old friend of mine. I'm talking about people like people who have suffered, like Roger Stone, George Papadopoulos, a whole bunch of these people who were basically brought into the Russia hoax, brought into other accusations of wrongdoing. These people never did anything wrong, and many of them have been bankrupted by legal fees. I think Roger Stone lost his home. Michael Flynn, I believe, had to sell his house in order to pay his legal fees. He was threatened with being thrown in prison, but had to be pardoned by President Trump just before he left office. Same with Rudy Giuliani, who is basically bankrupt at this point. So these people need to be compensated for their losses. The people who tortured them and persecuted them need to be put on trial, I think, for basically conspiracy for abuse of power. In certain cases like that of Andrew McCabe, when Michael Flynn at the White House, when early on in the administration, in the Trump 45, was told by Andrew McCabe, hey, are you free to have a couple of my FBI guys come talk to you? Michael Flynn said, hey, do I need to get a lawyer? And I believe McCabe said, oh, no, you don't need a lawyer. It's just going to be a chat. Well, that to me is basically a violation of the Miranda rights, Miranda rights protection people have. If somebody says, can I get a lawyer? You just tell them, no, you don't need a lawyer. If it's not a de facto, a de jure violation of Miranda rights, certainly de facto violation of Miranda rights, that kind of thing. Those sort of people who did this sort of behavior, I put James Comey in there, I put Clapper in there, I put Brennan, all these people around the Russia hoax, they need to be disbarred. They need to have their law license shredded. Those people need to go to prison for what they've done. And I think the Trump administration could do a lot more to compensate the victims of weaponization, lawfare, and make sure that the people who perpetrate this sort of thing are prosecuted. If they are convicted, they really need to spend a long time in prison. I mean behind bars, not some cute little community service or home detention for a week. These people need to be thrown in federal penitentiaries, need to break rocks for a number of years for what they've done to people. People have lost money. People have lost their homes. I know of people who have suffered all kinds of personal losses, trauma with their families. People have suffered big time as a result of this, and I don't think any of these people have gotten any measure of justice for what the Obama and Biden Justice Departments, and also the weaponized Justice Department unfortunately under President Trump, was never able to get complete control of that department.
Deroy, I'm just thinking about all of these people you're listing, and I have a Daily Signal article about that you've written here, Trump can ensure justice for Steve Koch, and just combing through it and just understanding how person after person after person, if you are a disadvantage to the people in the deep state of this country, you're in danger. You are your life and your freedom has been in danger. And there are so many cases of people who have been on the wrong side of the politics of the deep state. And we know that all of these things are true, to some extent. I don't know that we know the full truth of a lot of these stories, but Donald Trump himself, the president of the United States, is evidence that the deep state will contrive and concoct against you to try to keep you from power, which to me is very treasonous. And you'd like to think that the attorney general would be the position that is the bulldog that goes in and exposes everything and prosecutes all the bad guys on behalf of the American people, on behalf of the Constitution, so that we know that we're voting in a safe and secure republic. And that hasn't been Pam Bondi, and I don't have, I trusted Trump on most of the nominations he's had here, but I just want that bulldog. I want that person who's in there, who's fearless, who can articulate to the people, this is exactly what your government has been doing to you, and they're not going to do it any longer.
Yeah, well, I think we did have such a bulldog, a man named Ed Martin, who's still at the Department of Justice, but he's handling pardons now. Yeah, he started working on this, trying to get justice for these victims of weaponization, and somehow or another he was sidelined and pushed off to the side until, okay, just focus on pardons. So I'm not sure how much of the correction of the weaponization disaster is happening. But as you mentioned in this article in the Daily Signal, Justice for Steve Koch, he is a gentleman who ran a bank called the Federal Savings Bank, and they basically focused on making mortgages and home loans and refinancing to veterans, to GIs, to first-time homebuyers for the most part. And it's kind of a complicated story, but the long and short of it is that he helped out the Trump campaign back when President Trump was first running in 2016. And at the same time, Paul Manafort, who was campaign manager, tried to get a loan from him. He got tremendous collateralization, $16 million loan, backed by $25 million in real estate and cash. So not at all a risky loan because it was so overcapitalized. And basically, the Department of Justice, I guess because they don't like people who support President Trump, decided to go after him. And basically what they did is, at one point, Manafort recommended Koch for a position in the administration, either Secretary of the Army or perhaps an ambassadorship. And Koch spent about $1,000 to fly from Chicago to New York to go to Trump Tower for an interview, and spent about $600 for a room at the Four Seasons to stay overnight. So that's about $1,600. That, the Department of Justice said, violated the federal bank bribery statute, which is anything over $1,000 given to a banker could be considered a bribe. Now, this money was not Paul Manafort saying, okay, here's $1,600, go fly to this interview. This was Steve Koch himself spending $1,600 of his own money to go to this interview, and the Department of Justice said, that's a bribe. That's a bribe because that is a payoff for the recommendation that Manafort made, as did other people with whom Steve Koch had worked on the campaign, to come in for a preliminary interview for one of those positions, which he never got, by the way. He was never given even a second interview. It didn't go on beyond that first preliminary interview. So somehow or another, essentially, Steve Koch was prosecuted by the Department of Justice for bribing himself to the tune of $1,600 in travel expenses. Long and short of it, he ended up spending 5 months in federal penitentiary, another couple of months in a halfway house, a month of home detention, a fine of $1.25 million, and he spent so far to date $17.2 million. That's $17.2 million in legal expenses fighting this thing. And it's all, if he'd flown coach on Frontier Airlines and stayed at the Best Western or something like this, and his grand total travel expenses had come out to $850, none of this would have happened. So the idea that this is this awful bribe and funny money and hey, let's trade risky loans in exchange for this special recommendation for Paul Manafort, even if that had been the case, if he'd done all those things, if he had just managed to keep his travel expenses below $1,000, the DOJ would have been able to put together a case, or at least not this one. They may have cooked something else up, but they would have cooked up this monstrosity. So Steve Koch right now is hoping that he will get a pardon from President Trump. The Department of Justice can bring those papers over to the White House in a matter of minutes, and I think it would be completely appropriate for the President of the United States to pardon Steve Koch for this unbelievable, egregious, I describe as almost tragic comic example of lawfare and abuse of power and federal weaponization against somebody. Only thing he did wrong was support President Trump for president in 2016, and I guess that's a crime enough these days. It'll end up winding up giving you almost 6 months in prison.
Oh, man. Well, if people want to learn more about Steve Koch, your article in the Daily Signal is a great way to do that. Trump can ensure justice for Steve Koch. Read Deroy's piece there to learn more about that situation. And thank you for bringing it to our attention. It's good to know about these stories. And, for everyone that we know, how many exist that we just don't know yet?
Absolutely correct. I mean, we know the names of Paul Manafort and of Roger Stone and Michael Flynn. Those are very well-known cases. I did not know about Steve Koch's case until about 3 weeks ago when somebody brought it to my attention. So you're right. There may be other folks like this who have suffered these injustices and have not gotten any attention and are hoping they can figure out some way to put their lives back together after essentially doing nothing wrong in almost all of these cases.
Well, we're grateful for you, Deroy Murdock. A happy Easter weekend to you and to your family. Thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon.
Happy Easter to you and yours and to all of our listeners.
Amen. We'll talk to you
all
soon.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist. You can read his piece in the Daily Signal. The YouTube live chat poll, we're asking you, where is the most powerful place the United States president can deliver a speech? Obviously, Ryan, the options are...
The options are standing at a White House podium or sitting behind a Resolute desk in the Oval Office.
Or somewhere else.
YouTube.com/@Annie Frey. Go vote. Let us know your thoughts. You can text them to us as well. And a reminder, when you send your text, they go to Ryan. So whatever that means, if you want to get them right on the air.
I can tell you right now, the texts we've gotten on this are all over the place.
Okay.
There is not a consensus.
When we come back?
Sure.
Text messages 314-241-9797. The Annie Frey Show text line will feature you next. Don't go away. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. That phone number for your leaky basement. 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Give a phone call to Matt Hayes. He's the owner-operator of the family-owned business of Home Shield Foundation Repair, born and bred right here in the St. Louis area. Your basement needs attention. You've known this. Maybe you've recently found it, but that water, that rain that's been coming down, you found this moisture in your basement. You know it's a problem, and now you're really thinking about the spring season as it's coming in. We're going to have those rainy days, those big storms where inches of rain falls, and you're going to have a basement that's compromised. Unless you call Home Shield Foundation Repair and you go with the experts, those folks who are right here, our St. Louis neighbors, who are in a position to actually once and for all make it so that we don't have to have that leaky basement, that concern that is going to expand past just water in basement. Lots of other things follow that. Get ahead of it with Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-271-9900. Online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Morgan & Morgan isn't just an injury firm. It's our family's life work. It's my husband, it's my sons, it's me. When we take a case, we see a family just like ours. $30 billion recovered is something I'm proud of. But what I'm really proud of are the families we stood beside. It's an honor to fight for you when you need our support the most. Morgan & Morgan, for the people and your family.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. Hey, it's Mark Reardon. I'm with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage, and if you're thinking about refinancing, he has some great advice.
Mark, this is a great time to refinance. If you financed over the last 3 years, you're probably paying a higher rate. Take advantage now. Refinance with the Bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, nothing. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. For those of you folks that are waiting on the sideline saying, hey, maybe the rates will go down more, I'm going to wait. Take advantage now. A bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. Refinance. Get the cash out you need. Get a lower rate. Maybe even go from a 30 to a 20 year and keep that payment the same. All with the Bagel loan.
This is a quick process, right?
We close in 10 days. We send a notary out to your house to close so you don't have to take off any time from work. It's easy. It's simple. Bing, bang, boom. Your home is the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. Deal with somebody local, somebody has a reputation, somebody has accountability. I'm here in town. You can call me or text me after hours, weekends, whenever it's convenient for you.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Hey, you who are listening to the Annie Frey Show right now. You having a good day? You know what would make your day great? Participating in the YouTube live chat poll. If you've never done it before, especially, it's a really good one to vote on because there's not a whole lot. There's not a lot of consequence to it. Where is the most powerful place a U.S. president can deliver a speech? Is it standing at a White House podium, sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or somewhere else? Regardless of your choice, we want to know what it is. That's the YouTube live chat poll. You find it by typing in Annie Frey Show on YouTube. Today's date will come up, and you click on that, and the poll's right there. 149 this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us. You just heard Brian talking about the YouTube live chat poll. We're going to get your text here on that in just a second. Just pontificating off the air and a little bit on the air about who might become the next Attorney General appointee nominee from President Trump. And this is crazy. I'm going to put this out there just because it's fun for our show. But if Eric Schmidt were appointed the Attorney General of the United States, would he not be so incredible at it? When we're talking about, don't you want the bulldog? You want someone that's out there that's like, come and stop me, you know?
Yeah.
And Eric Schmidt would 100% be that person, and he's so good at communicating what he's doing and the principle behind it. I would love it if Eric Schmidt, I'm like Ron DeSantis is who I would really, really like. I would hate to lose Eric Schmidt. He might still do our show. Can the Attorney General do local radio? It's like,
You better.
Seems like it'd be beneath his time. But you know, there might be some other people out there that have served in that capacity or maybe run for Attorney General in Missouri before who maybe get appointed to the Senate. I don't know.
There's a text right here that says AG Andrew Bailey.
Andrew Bailey, he's the deputy director of the FBI. He's kind of already in it, so maybe he would know. I don't know. Missouri, what are you feeding these people? You've got the best when it comes to the legal bench. Let's get to some of the text messages on the poll. Yesterday, we had a discussion on air. There were two questions that were posed. The first one is, where will the president deliver his speech from? The double door walk out and walk up to the podium with the presidential seal on it, standing up. That was Ryan's favorite all around, and that is what President Trump did last night. And then the second question was, where is the most powerful place that a president can deliver a speech or deliver a message? At that podium or at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office? You said we got a lot of texts on this.
Okay, here's the first. And they come back to back to back. That's what's so interesting about these in both directions. First one says, today's poll, behind the power desk. That would be your choice.
That's what I think.
The next one right afterwards said, standing asserts more dominance. Sitting is too passive. And then as I scroll down,
If you're in a conversation with somebody and you're standing across a desk that they're sitting, does the standing person feel powerful?
If it's your office, no. But that's a weird situation. That is not presenting on television.
I think anytime someone's sitting behind a desk and looking at me, I feel like they're the person in power.
Yeah, because you're in their territory, usually.
Hence the Oval Office.
This next one says, the place to have a presidential speech with the most impact is in front of Independence Hall with a blood red backdrop color and stormtroopers flanking his sides.
Stormtroopers, man. That is a great idea. You know what would be really fun in Donald Trump's last 6 months is if he repeated the red speech but made a total mockery of it, and it was like a roast of everybody who's in government with him.
That would be super funny.
Independence Hall, blood red lights shining up, but stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers would be sort of a next level. I mean, then you're going into parody.
Like patriotic stormtroopers.
Okay, what's
Obviously.
that mean?
Just in red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
3 of them. 1 normal, and a red one and a blue one.
Okay.
Put the red one on the right and the blue one on the left, and everybody's happy.
The only thing about those guys, they don't give you great protection.
Neither did Biden.
They get taken down pretty quick. Next one says, always at the Resolute desk. It reflects authority and grounded knowledge. And then immediately right after that, I would say standing at the podium for Trump. Reagan was the one who did okay at the desk, but no one was worse than Carter at the desk.
No, he was bad at being a president.
He was bad at
that
everything.
That wasn't specific to just that.
So that's the bulk of what we got as far as comments go, at least in the text at this moment.
Brad, what are your thoughts?
The most powerful place is behind the Resolute desk. I mean, if you're delivering a speech to the American people and you want everybody to sit up and listen, there's nothing more somber, solemn, and powerful than the Resolute desk with all the history that's behind that, in the Oval Office with all the history behind that, with the president sitting tall, hands folded in front of him, delivering a calm but reassuring message. There's nothing more powerful than that message. That's why presidents historically have gone to the Oval Office and delivered that speech to the American people from there, from behind the Resolute desk in times of trial and in times of celebration. It's the Resolute desk. It is the United States. It's not just the president.
Oh, here's a pack of them together, too, here that came in just in the last couple of minutes. Anyone can stand behind a podium, but only one man can sit behind the Resolute desk.
Obviously.
I read that for you.
Thank you.
And right afterwards, somebody says, sorry, Ryan, but I can't tell what the other comment was. Like, I'm assuming they're disagreeing with me, though. And then I voted somewhere else as a different person.
Mm-hmm.
I believe a park or some other green environment. As the kids say, it's all about the aura.
What is greater aura? You want to aura farm children? You want to just, eat? As the president of the United States, you go behind the Resolute desk because, like that person said, nobody else can do it. Any other texts?
Yeah, okay, they keep coming in.
Mm-hmm.
He says, this is Kevin. If my only 2 choices are podium and Resolute desk, which they're not, you could choose somewhere else in this poll, too. He says Resolute desk, but I'd like to see a fireside chat. Personally, I think those are very cool. And that's actually my point, is that I think sitting down at the desk feels more like a fireside chat.
No!
Which is why it's
the
less...
fire is in the room. You could go sit next to this fire
authoritative.
with a button-up sweater and a pipe, which somebody would have to hold for President Trump because he wouldn't know what to do with it, and you can chat.
This person votes somewhere else, as in standing on a pile of skulls of his vanquished enemies.
Well, that would exude power.
That would exude power. And then last one, Annie is right. Just say it out loud. Annie is right. Now, I'm quoting that. I did not say that, but that's what that text says.
It's a good text.
I don't love it.
I sent it.
Did you really? Is that you? That is you.
You said it out loud. Thank you, Ryan. You too can text the Annie Frey Show text line 314-241-9797. Make Ryan say fun things like that. That was great, Ryan. You did so well.
I may not say it. I have some discretion.
So great. We'll be right back.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Ever felt a nagging toothache or maybe a sensitive spot? It's frustrating, right? But don't let that worry hold you back. This is Dr. Michael A. White. I am dedicated to providing gentle, affordable dental care that puts your comfort first. Our experienced team and advanced technology will ensure a smooth, relaxing experience. It's just common sense. Don't hurt the patient. Call my office at 314-270-8552. That's 314-270-8552.
AirComfortService.com. You need to stay in your comfort zone. Spring is sprung and it's going to get hot outside. And you're definitely going to want to have that Air Comfort service call to your home. If you feel like the air conditioner isn't up to the job, 314-513-0091. They offer 24/7 emergency service. So remember, when the AC isn't quite doing the trick, if it's not blowing cold air, blowing all day, you're paying to push that air through your house, but it's not doing the trick on the temperature control. When you call 314-513-0091, they're going to be able to come give you that 24/7 emergency service that you need to ensure that you get back in good working order quickly. A reminder to a lot of you who may be looking after mom or dad who are in their home by themselves, this is a great number to have in your phone in the event that you ever need to have somebody come out, because you're going to want someone you can trust that goes into that home. And Air Comfort Service, they are that every single time. 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Cancer can feel like something we can't do anything about, but you can. There are screening tests that can catch cancer early when it may be easier to treat. Begin cervical screening at age 25. At 45, start colorectal and breast screening. At 50, discuss lung screening with a doctor. Find resources for free and low-cost screening at cancer.org/getscreened. This is a public service message from the American Cancer Society.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
This is a Fox News alert. The U.S. Attorney General is out on Lisa Brady. It's the second cabinet shakeup in less than a month following the ouster of the Homeland Security Secretary.
President Trump says Pam Bondi will transition to a job in the private sector, and top Justice Department Deputy Todd Blanche will serve as acting Attorney General until a new AG is confirmed. Sources tell Fox News Digital Bondi was fired by the president in an Oval Office meeting Wednesday night. Bondi had accompanied President Trump earlier that day to attend Supreme Court arguments over his executive order on birthright citizenship. The president did not announce a new role for Bondi in the administration, but says in a social media post she is a patriot and loyal friend who faithfully served as Attorney General and did a tremendous job overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across the country.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The president's post says Bondi's new private sector role will be announced in the near future, calling it a much-needed and important new job. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer posting good riddance.
But does it change anything for Democrats? They won't have, Kristi Noem or Pam Bondi as punching bags in those positions that they were in. They demanded that they be taken out of those positions. But does that mean then that they're going to come to the table on anything regarding ICE or anything else?
Fox News chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says the firing isn't enough to fix an out-of-control administration. Another House Democrat says Bondi is still legally obligated to testify before the Oversight Committee's Jeffrey Jeffrey Epstein probe. The White House Ballroom Project just winning final approval from a key commission, even though it's still facing some legal hurdles after a judge ordered a pause this week. A preservationist group says the president needs approval from Congress, and a federal judge agreed, but also put his injunction on hold as that legal fight continues. America is listening to Fox News.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. There'll be a couple of showers, a couple of thunder showers, but the action is limited. 79. It's windy tonight. A couple of showers and thunderstorms around. 62. Friday, partly sunny, but still some showers and thunderstorms around. 83. Saturday, keep it unsettled. Sunday, though, for Easter is dry. It's sunny and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan. And be ready for the first heat wave. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Another comment here from a listener on the YouTube poll. Where's the most powerful place a U.S. president can deliver a speech? Standing at a White House podium or sitting behind a Resolute desk in the Oval Office? Third option, somewhere else. You'll have to leave us a comment if that's the case. Comment from a listener. Resolute desk is Max Riz.
Whatever. And look, this one. Look, Jeff from Eureka. I respect that you put your name in the text. Thank you,
Jeff.
But
from
he
Eureka.
says, I'm saying the desk. It shows power and control. It is a sacred room that many other powerful leaders have been. The desk is a seat for the president and the president only. A podium is for anyone. Shoot, I could talk behind one of those. Also, no stormtroopers.
You don't like that idea? That was a great one.
Was that some friend of yours? Looks at this one. It just says Annie is the best.
Oh, that did not text that.
Are you sure?
You can check my yes.
Can I check both phones?
I have one. Unless look, I have texted the station one time. Right here. Never before. Oh, actually, no, I texted something different, but I don't know why. I'll have to show that to you off air.
Okay. Not sure if I'm looking forward to that or not.
And I sent it and you read it, and I feel accomplished.
Yeah, it was a good joke. Everybody had a good time.
You were the advocate that the most powerful place that a president can give the speech is standing behind the podium in the White House. Stand by that? Or would you rather sit and think about it in a position of power?
Just that standing in general, I really don't even care where it is. But if you have the White House and some sort of awesome decor behind you, like the Oval Office is projecting, like only the president can do this in the Oval Office. Fair. President speaking with the White House behind you, something like that. Same thing, but I just think that standing gives more authority.
What is the most powerful you've ever felt? What in your life, when have you felt like you've had Max Riz?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Have you ever? Brad?
No, I've never.
Gosh,
felt,
I can't think of.
I've never felt.
I
Max
can tell you
Riz.
when I thought I did and didn't.
And that's why.
When?
I got promoted my first TV job. I got promoted to some position that was nothing, but it was just above entry. And I was like, well, I guess I've arrived, And I in one day peed off the guy above me because I'm walking around throwing my weight around in this new position.
How old were you?
I was like 24.
Were you like the supervisor of the golf cart kids?
No, this was not. This was TV, so not the golf cart
Industry.
Yeah, it was in the industry. And I went to our web guy and was like, what we're going to need here, Marcus, is probably a whole new website, something that was going to be a huge project for this
because
guy.
You had gotten a promotion
because I'm
at
clearly,
10 a.m.?
I'm still, I'm kind of in charge here now, even though it had
what
nothing
did they
to
do? How did they clarify for you your position?
He just sort of raised his eyebrows, and I went, I think I maybe have overstepped my bounds.
You took a hint?
And then I went back to later in the day. I remember going back to my coworker, Gary, and I'm like, Gary, I think
Gary's a funny name.
I think I may have made Marcus a little mad today by suggesting we do something to the website. And he was like, yeah, Marcus told me about it. I'm like, okay.
It's been discussed.
All right. So it was behind my back then. And I think I know my place, which is still very low here.
You can't think of a time where you felt like I'm in control here, or what the coolest you've ever felt?
I would think that time would probably come if I was able to skateboard and pulled off.
There's no ifs in this response.
An amazing triple kick flip.
Careful.
And everybody saw it, and the prettiest girl in high school was like, dang, and she lowered her sunglasses and looked at me above them. That, to me, would be the moment.
So your Max Riz moment occurs in high school?
Yeah, I would have peaked then. But I didn't.
Would have. Are you still waiting?
I'm still hoping to get there.
Brad, what's the coolest you've ever felt? Max
Now
Riz
it's coolest you've ever felt.
moment.
Oh, man. I've never felt cool. I've never felt that Max coolness.
What about walking in as
What about
the
here?
executive producer of the Annie Frey show, like second month? You're like, hey, I've achieved this.
The second month, I was still having imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here? I can't. No, I have no idea because I've never had that moment where I've come through for the game-winning home run or made an excellent move at the end of a race to win.
You've never achieved anything.
You know what we need to do? Start racing.
I guess. Drag racing?
You don't need to do that.
Or what?
Anything.
We should go to the Gateway Kartplex and race karts down there. That would be
like shopping carts?
No. Go-karts.
Go-karts.
Yeah, they got the fast ones down there. 40 miles an hour.
I'm in.
Fly. That would be a blast.
You've never felt cool? Ever?
No. I know you don't believe me, but that just never have.
When have you felt as cool as you possibly? What was your apex cool?
Well, apex cool is sitting in an F-18 behind a Blue Angels pilot.
Yeah, I've never done
Okay,
that.
fine.
But I wasn't simply, luckily all the way through, existing. There was nothing about it that was made cool because of me. I was the humble, I wasn't even a rung on the ladder. I was in the presence of it. But for the rest of my life, I don't think there's anything I can tell people that I've done or will do that will be cooler than saying, I've done all the maneuvers in an F-18 with the Blue Angels. That's the coolest.
Yeah, it is.
I think maybe I've done a lot of speaking engagements. I've emceed a lot of events, so I'm on big stages in front of people quite often. I think that when Governor Parson invited me to be the MC for the Governor's Ball in Jefferson City, the Governor's Ball is this really big deal every year, which I think is so cool that Missouri does this. They invite the people to celebrate the new session, and they have a ball, and generally speaking in January, people show up in full formal gowns if they so choose, and then they have a dance, and it's just open to the public, and all of the different legislators are in their offices, and you can go visit different legislators, and they'll have different spreads of food and stuff, so you can just go. It's just a really cool
hors d'oeuvre setup.
No, I don't know that I eat at those things. I've gone a couple times, but when Governor Parson had his last one, would that have been 2022? Maybe. I have to look up my photos, but he moved it because of COVID. I guess it would have been 20. I don't know if it was 22 or 21. I think it was 22. Right. He moved the thing outside because traditionally it's in like the first week of January or something indoors, and it's frigidly cold. And this one got moved to maybe May. I have a bottle of wine that's actually engraved on the wine, the Governor's Ball, and it's signed by Governor Parson.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a really cool bottle. And
me hearing about that story is the coolest I've ever felt. Just now.
But I'm going to find a picture and I'll put it up on the live stream here at the next break. They have at the Capitol in Jefferson City these ginormous American flags that drape the Capitol building, and I was there with John Hancock co-hosting the Governor's Ball, and I remember when they asked me to do it, I'm like, you guys know I live in Illinois. I said, okay, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. I think John maybe...
Oh, I remember this
I think John maybe put in a good word, like, you should have Annie do this, and they were like, sure, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It just was so cool because we announced all of the people that were in leadership. Eric Schmidt was the Attorney General. He was there with his family, and they walk out and they're spotlit and they walk a red carpet and they go down to the ball where people are. And then there's a dance party and all. It just was so cool. But I was the MC of it, and I got to be a beautiful dress. It's my favorite dress. I've tried to find it again so I can buy it so I can wear it again. John Hancock in a tux. It was just great. The moment was way bigger than I was, and I got to be a part of it.
That's cool.
Like, I don't think that anybody who went to the Governor's Ball would be like, Annie, you emceed that. I don't think anybody would remember that. But just being there was really, really cool.
I remembered one other time where I felt cool, but I also remembered that the story ended in embarrassment again.
You want to tell us now? Tell us now.
I had just gotten a job at an office out of college, and it's probably 2004. And it was a job I hated. It was just filing. It was just a job to have a job. And there was nothing creative about it, which I just die. I wilt on the vine. And I was just there sitting in the parking lot waiting to go in. And I was just, I don't know if I was like praying or just thinking, God, I don't want to be doing this job. And the only girl my age at that time that was also working in that whole office walked by and did a straight up triple take looking at me in the car. And I was like, well, that made me at least feel good, you know, made me feel like she was checking me out because I was brand new there and I don't think she had ever seen me before. So I walk in and I'm thinking, hey, this girl kind of checked me out. That's awesome. And I was looking pretty good that day, apparently, for a 22-year-old man or whatever I was.
There's unfortunately no second sources on the story. Keep going.
And so I go in and, like, that day was fine. The next day I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wear, like, cool clothes today. I'm going to dress cooler than just average office clothes.
Did you wear a Dan Flash's shirt?
So I wore something that was
complicated.
I don't remember the top, but I remember I wore shorts. And when I went in, they're like, you can't wear shorts to an office.
Were you going to show some leg?
They made.
Why were you wanting to wear shorts?
I don't know. I was just being cool for some reason.
Shorts?
In my head, that was cool that day.
You know what you'll like? My
You know what
sauce.
this other one girl who works here will like? My legs.
How old were you? How old were you? Are you shamed? Are you feeling shame?
I think 22.
Were those real thoughts? Sometimes you say things on this show because you know they're funny. And I think that was real. I think that was a moment of
I guess
sincerity.
You'll never know. But they made me, and I think she ended up being a part of this. It became a huge gag in the office the whole day that I had worn shorts.
You didn't say where this job was?
I did not say where it was.
Can you tell us what kind of good or service you were providing?
Agriculture. It was like an office place for agribusiness.
And you couldn't wear shorts?
You couldn't wear
You're like,
shorts.
We're working
this
people
is
here.
Professional. This is the Bush administration.
All right. Ethan Sports and Local next year on the Annie Frey Show. Don't go away. The Retirement Advisory Group. You find them online at retirementkey.com. I want to encourage you to reach out to Thomas Helbig, Bob, and Tammy Kershaw. Such great people. That matters when you're going to sit down and divulge all of that information, all that hard work that you have put in to save for retirement. And now you're right there. You're on the cusp of retirement, and you need to know if you've got enough. Maybe you need another year or two. Maybe you're ahead of schedule. If you're looking for the key to a worry-free retirement, it starts with a phone call. And then you got to call 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, and talk to the Retirement Advisory Group. Set up an appointment, a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review so that you can plan that retirement and feel very, very great about that day that you've been waiting for quite some time. Call and schedule an appointment. It's not going to cost you anything. No obligation when you're done. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Injured at work? Not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-777-7777.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
License number GL250000615.
We've seen all kinds of clogs, so remember the rule. Only flush 3 things. Number 1, number 2, and toilet paper.
What about my dinosaurs?
No.
My monster truck?
Nope.
What about...
If it's not the big 3, don't flush it.
But if someone does flush a dinosaur...
Call Grasser. We clear the clog and get things moving again.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis conservative.
Hold up.
Check it out. Sports and local.
Spittin' facts and shizzle, man.
Yo, yeah, we are here on the Annie Frey Show, and it's all sponsored by All Financial. Yo!
Man, you want to talk Max Riz. The aura farming here is off the chain.
Real quick,
or hook.
I have a good one. I have a good Max Riz.
Do you? I was sitting here thinking Ethan can think of 7 times where he felt super cool.
Yeah, they probably all happened in the last couple of years.
Maybe today. Pick one.
I had a moment my first year working for the Cardinals. My wife and I were not in either. We had just gotten engaged or we weren't engaged yet, but it was getting close. And so, getting familiar with extended family, but not like very close with them yet at that point. And a couple of them were in town, and I got them tickets to the Cardinals game. And I was going to go show them the booth. And as I am bringing them into the booth, Bob Costas walks out and goes, "Oh, hey, Ethan, how's it going?" I was like, "Bob, good to see you." And I remember just going like, that was such a killer moment.
Did you ever explain to anyone that that's not usual?
Yeah, I definitely told them after that's not super normal, but I've also said that was an awesome moment, especially.
He knows my name.
Well, they were also like, "That's Bob Costas," and they were like, and he's just talking with Ethan. So I remember being like, "Yeah, that was a That was a good moment. That was definitely
Very cool.
That was definitely cred points with
I
the
peed
family.
next to Ken Wilson once.
Okay.
Do you want to share
Sports
more
and
about
local.
that?
No.
I
no.
was just in the Blues bathroom.
Cutting it off. Sports and local. There's got to be something else to talk about other than his urination, which we've talked a lot about lately. Ethan?
That's true.
Yeah, that is a good point. We have talked about that an abnormal
Not
amount.
for that reason.
I've heard it's going very, very well these days.
Yeah, it's going great.
Hey, the
Strong
Cardinals are 4-2 to start off the year. Back-to-back series wins. First against Tampa Bay. Oh. And then
that's for the Blues.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And then most recently, a 3-game series win over the New York Mets. Yesterday, a walk-off win against the Mets. Mason Wynn, a little bloop single down the right field line to give the Cards a 2-1 win. In extra innings, 11 innings played. Bullpen looked really good. Very solid series of win against a very good New York Mets team.
Are you going to talk about payroll? I saw a meme
we can.
said that I correct my numbers here. This is off the top of my head. The Mets payroll is $281 million and the Cardinals is $44 million.
It's in the mid to high twos. The Cardinals is $48 million.
48, okay.
Yeah. It reminds you of, that's like Moneyball kind of stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cardinals getting it done and finding unique ways to get it done. Also, a little bit of a scary situation after yesterday's game. Mason Wynn, who had the walk-off base hit, was involved in a single car accident last night. After the game on Interstate 64, wet pavement, got in the single car crash. Fortunately, he is okay. The team released a statement stating that they are grateful he is okay, and they also thanked the first responders in the community that helped him. He posted a picture of it just this afternoon of his car. Drove a nice BMW. It is totaled now. That is for certain. The front of it's pretty
Thank
messed
God
up.
he's okay, and everybody else is okay.
Everyone's
and it was
okay.
weather related.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ripper comments on the Annie Frey Show Facebook. Cards are on pace to win 108 games. Thank you.
That'll last. We'll certainly continue. But yeah, he also thanked all the people that helped him, the Cardinal security and the first responders as well. It was, out of all of that, none of those facts that the Cardinals won and the car crash with Mason Wynn neither were the most viral moments that came away from yesterday's coverage of the Cardinals and Mets. The most notable things that were involving the game were the comments made by Mets broadcasters Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez regarding the lack of population and the lack of people in the city of St. Louis.
Ethan, were these comments made on the broadcast that St. Louisans were watching?
No. This was
is the Mets
specifically
broadcast.
the Mets broadcast, yes.
Are we ready to listen to him? I'm not.
The only thing missing from that picture, as is often missing from every picture we show of downtown St. Louis, no people.
No people. Well, you know, they want it to look picturesque. You can see a car driving by on the right. That's the only sign of life.
But there's never anybody walking around in downtown St. Louis.
It's not very often, you're right.
It's like, remember the old neutron bomb that wouldn't knock down buildings but just would eliminate all the people? It's like one of those hits St. Louis.
I guess it's just a photo op. People then run and hide, so they're not in the photo.
A, they're right. B, how rude. That to me seems like you do broadcasting for sports at various levels, Ethan. This seems to be not something. This seems to be out of school. That this is not what you do when you're visiting another town. Talk about how. I just think this was so classless on their behalf.
You think so? What about it bothers you?
The fact that, for them to say that it looks like a neutron bomb went off and there are no people anywhere. You're showing the sights of St. Louis. Okay, I understand that. It's not, there's no part of their commentary that is necessary to tell the story of the game. You can talk about St. Louis in a neutral to positive. If I would expect if our broadcasters were talking about New York City, are they going to go there and talk about the crime? Are they going to go there and talk about the communism? Are they going to go there and talk about the homelessness or the drugs or the disrespect for the police? No. And I, as a Cardinals fan, would never, ever want to hear our broadcasters make me think about things that might make me stray from the baseball game. It can be adjacent to the baseball game, But to sit there and nothing that they're saying there is flattering. No St. Louisan is hearing what they're saying or listening to that clip with any element of pride in their city. There's a lot of hurt that comes from our understanding as to why that's the case. And we've talked was it this week that we started the week talking about, because I got diverted and I drove downtown on Washington Avenue. I'm like, we have so much stuff. We have so much to offer in this city. We know there are so many great things about the city of St. Louis. So many people make their living here, and yeah, they get the heck out of here afterwards. And there are a lot of painful reasons and difficult discussions that take place or need to take place as to why that is. But for two visiting broadcasters to come into our home in Busch Stadium and to make those comments, I just think that is so classless. And I think I don't want an apology from them because it's been said and it's kind of done. But I would hope our broadcasters wouldn't go to another city and talk like that. I mean, if we go to Chicago and you're at Wrigley Field is, I'll say this here on this show, Wrigley Field, when Wrigley Field clears out, it's a dump. It is old. It is run down. Maybe they've cleaned it up since I was there a few years ago. But it's just a place that has shown the signs of wear and tear. But there's so much character. There's so much history that exists in all of that you can choose to talk about one of two things. And I don't understand at all why these broadcasters, in a game that wasn't a boring game, it's not like they had run out of things that they could talk about. Why would you crap on the city of St. Louis? I think it was unnecessary.
Now that they have, though, I think our broadcasters should go to New York.
Talk
say,
some stuff?
Yeah,
Start some stuff?
and just slide it in. Just see, this is how you like it. Okay. Like, I was walking into City Field today, and
who's
a
more
man
afraid of
approached me
who?
who smelled like feces.
The people coming into New York City or the people coming into St. Louis? Where is it scarier?
I will say this. You guys should. There are videos out there of, like, places you park or the drive getting to Citi Field. It is
rough.
Bad. It is really rough.
But I mean, is that the color that's provided in the middle of the fifth inning in a professional baseball game by a visiting broadcast booth? I don't think it's appropriate.
I'll play devil's advocate and say Keith Hernandez spent several years here. He was here in a time when St. Louis was a much more vibrant city, when there was a lot more commotion around. So. And still speaks very highly of the city of St. Louis.
Then speak highly of the city of St. Louis.
Well, what I'm saying is we're seeing one 30-second video. We are getting this video to a certain extent without context as to how they described the city of St. Louis and all of the different shots that they had of the city.
But Ethan, that doesn't matter because we live in a world where clips are
that's what I was going to say next. I was going to say that next. So that needs to also be considered. I'm not saying that this is necessarily right or wrong. I will say this. They're not wrong. They're not wrong that, like, it is quiet downtown. Now, you can argue whether that should be being stated on
that is what I'm arguing.
On a baseball broadcast, if that's professional. And I think that that's a fair point to be made.
If these
broadcasters
broadcasters are sitting down in an interview about going to St. Louis or whatever, and they talk about it there, that's one thing. But while you're sitting in the stadium in St. Louis showing B-roll from outside the stadium and within the city and using it as a way to say that nobody wants to be outside in the city anymore, I think it's low class.
And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that two things can be true at once. Something can be true that the city is not in a great spot as far as, vibrance and population downtown, people coming to visit. But if you're trying to promote the game of baseball and trying to get people in the seats, then it should be just as much a responsibility for broadcasters to do that at home as it is to do that anywhere in Major League Baseball.
I just think it's out of place. I don't think the comments, I don't disagree with the comments. I don't disagree with his right to say them, but I do think that if you're going to say something like that in a broadcast, you should expect blowback and, either apologize and say that didn't come out the way or that didn't happen and develop the way I intended, or no, I think that St. Louis should make St. Louis great again.
Yeah, he probably wasn't thinking too much about it because they were cutting to live shots of the city, and they're just like, there's no people walking around.
There are a lot of examples of broadcasters who are you get comfortable with the person you're talking to, and you're just having a discussion or whatever. I just don't. I'm curious. I'm not demanding anybody's response. I'm curious if he could have those comments back, if he'd take them back.
Genuine question, because the first time I saw that was this morning, and I thought, is there a neutron bomb that only kills people and not buildings?
I know Thanos can do that. That was what I was thinking. It's kind of like a snap and poof.
Yeah, when he said that, I'm like, what exactly is he referring to? Is that a real thing?
I don't know. It's interesting. I would also say too that if it would have been our broadcaster saying it about our city, then I wouldn't have really had a problem with it. You know, you can kind of talk about your own, but if someone comes in and talks about your family or your home, then you're gonna have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you, Ethan? Do you think they shouldn't have said that?
I don't think about it necessarily as deeply probably as you do. In large part because I think that they kind of were spot on. I do agree with Ryan, though, that they probably weren't going into that saying, yep, we're going to absolutely just trash on St. Louis right now. I think they're making an observation, and because of the lack of context, it looks way worse than they intended for it to look.
What context could have been provided?
We have no idea if anything else that they said about the city and any
Like if
Oh,
other
right
opens
before
or
they
closes.
said, "Beautiful
They may
city,
have
just
said,
no
"Man,
people
what a
walking."
great shot of the arch and all the character that this city has." We don't know.
They say there it's a beautiful city. They just say the one thing you'll never see is people. So I don't know. Libby says the truth hurts, Annie. Yeah, I understand it, but I don't watch Cardinals baseball games. Like maybe I watch Mets baseball games to look at the Midwest Pond Scum or something. I don't know.
Maybe this gets attention though on something that needs attention. Maybe that's a silver lining.
Maybe they're really solving some of our
Thank you,
problems.
Keith.
Thank you. I always knew the Mets they cared. They cared deeply.
That's what you always said.
I've always said that. We'll be right back with Annie. Are you okay? Don't go away.
Looking for something smart, soulful, and full of heart? I'm Jen Hatmaker, host of For the Love, the podcast where we talk about what really matters: love and family, faith and purpose. Every week, I'm joined by incredible guests for honest conversations that invite all of us to live with more intention, more laughter, and more connection. Join us on For the Love wherever you get your podcasts.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesiderd.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
All right, this is the YouTube live chat poll today. It's where is the most powerful place a U.S. president can deliver a speech? Is it standing at a White House podium, sitting behind a Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or somewhere else? This person is Dale. They said,
This person is Dale.
This person is Dale.
That's like what a robot would say.
I said podium. But I have been convinced that the Resolute desk is the only one he can do.
Dale, oh, thank you.
I dislike Dale now.
I think you're getting your butt kicked on this one, maybe.
I might be at this point, at least according to the comments. I haven't seen the results. You can see those at the end of the show with us just before 3 o'clock.
Read that comment I sent earlier.
No, thank you. It is 2:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From Troy, Missouri to Troy, Illinois. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Hey, it's Trisha.
Hey, Annie and crew.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are
How
you
are
okay?
I am okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, we were talking before. Max Riz, you know what the kids say these days. That means basically the raddest you've ever felt.
I did not know that, actually. So I listened to this super hip show.
Yes, it's where the kids go to find out what's happening. What's the coolest you've ever felt?
I don't know if it's the coolest I've ever felt, but it was pretty freaking cool. I had the opportunity to go to the 2016 RNC in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And after all of the broadcast things, there was a private Kid Rock concert.
Ooh.
And it was just for GOP and like special invites. It was free, all the food, the drinks, everything.
How
and
many people were in the room?
It was not a room. It was like an outdoor amphitheater, but small.
Uh-huh.
And I was maybe meeting away from Kid Rock at this like free concert, just like with all of these like big. I had no business being there, but I was.
You were like a rock star.
I have
groupie.
made it. Like, what is this? This is how the other half lives.
That's a great story.
It was cool.
All right.
Yeah. All
Half
right.
of the other half because it was just conservatives.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ryan felt so cool one day he wore shorts to work.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Check out
It's against
these
our dress
calves.
code.
And we're trying to figure out a way to give Brad a peak Max Riz moment.
Anything, Brad?
I got nothing.
Nothing.
We need to create. We want to create a race he can win, and so I think we're going to race go-karts.
That's any race.
Yeah. But he can't know that we're setting him up to win.
I know you'll give it your best.
I'm going to.
I'm going to make it shopping carts.
And he drives a go-kart.
and you drive a shopping cart.
I think he'll know.
Guys, I'm not going to feel cool if you let me win.
That's my point.
All right. Costco selling giant chocolate bunnies. Costco is selling a massive 10-pound chocolate Easter bunny priced between $113 online and $140 in stores. The bunny, nicknamed Pete, is meant to be smashed with a hammer or sliced with a knife to
Did Jesse
serve.
Waters have one of these on the 5 the other day? He had it was like 2 feet tall.
It's 10 pounds. It's huge. Yeah.
I think you said it was 22,000 calories. Is that about what we're talking about
Something like that. It has 151 servings in it.
How much money does it cost?
About 100 somewhere between 113
Guys,
and
that's outside of the
140.
radio show budget. Sorry.
I've eaten a gummy bear that big.
A 10-pound
Was it a
gummy
pot
bear
gummy?
in one,
It was one of those
in one
giant
sitting?
ones. No, not one sitting. But you do eat them like a
He's
steak.
like, that would be crazy.
You eat them like a steak.
You cut them. You stick a knife into it. And...
Do you like chocolate, Ryan?
Yeah, I like chocolate. I don't like just eating pure chocolate.
Do you
very much,
prefer dye before chocolate? Something that's really a bright, pretty color?
Oh, yeah, something like a fruity candy is what you're saying. Yeah, I probably do. Although in my age, I said to you yesterday as we were finishing the show, should I buy an entire box of full-size Milky Ways?
This is an off-the-air conversation.
Yes.
This is people will watch the YouTube live stream and be like, I wonder what they're saying.
That's what I said.
And
at
I
the
said,
very end. You said don't.
And why?
Because you don't need that junk. And I thought that's a perspective.
I'm looking out.
I'm still looking though.
Chocolate bunny.
Annie,
That's a
are
huge
you
one.
okay with chocolate bunnies?
Yeah, chocolate bunnies are good, especially when it's good chocolate. You know, you can get some of them that are not.
I'm not a chocolate bunny fan. I'm a chocolate fan.
The question is always, is it hollow or is it solid?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a solid chocolate bunny that's quality chocolate, why would you be opposed to that?
I like some caramel or something in my chocolate.
I do too.
Yeah.
I
used to like caramel, but it's too
pardon me.
Caribbean.
Caramel. I forgot. This is the hip show.
Yeah. That's the way Dua
We'll
Lipa
allow
says
it.
Dua Lipa.
I do like it, but sometimes it's too sweet. Takes away from the chocolate. I'd rather have peanut butter than caramel.
I'm not a big chocolate bunny fan
Disagree.
either. You know, you got to be real careful these days with all your Easter candy. Look for it to say chocolatey.
What?
And you're like, that's not even chocolate.
So when it says chocolatey, it's not chocolate?
Yes.
It's like the Nesquik of chocolate bunnies or something.
It's
like
fake
cake?
because chocolate has gotten more expensive, so they're looking for ways to
What do they put
produce
in there?
cheaper stuff, chocolate alternatives.
I actually
It's
think
not
Ryan has felt the most cool when he gets to talk about the economics of candy. He's like, this is my moment, people, and I will shine.
That's not far off.
Prepared my whole life for this.
Yeah.
Just know it offhand, too. You know, this
He
is
does.
just from living.
He's got a chart. Why do you have a chart?
It's just ready to go.
It's very impressive.
Charts.
Activists advocate for potatoes instead of Easter eggs. It's that time of year. Animal rights activists are urging the White House to replace Easter eggs with decorated potatoes at its annual egg roll. PETA, that is.
Be a
those are
potato roll.
Exactly.
Which kind of sounds good right now.
Says the
Pretty hungry.
Just starting this. There's a lot of food in these stories today.
Okay.
PETA says the switch would be more humane, sustainable, and less likely to break during the event. The proposal would rebrand it as a potato roll with games like sack races and hot potatoes. Annie, are you okay with these Easter egg hunts?
Yeah, I took the two girls to one in a local town near me on Sunday, and they cover the park everywhere with these eggs, thousands of eggs, and they separate the kids in age groups. So I was with Molly in the 4 and under, and Evelyn was over. I think it was 9 and under, and Evelyn's 9, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So they had 7 and 9 in one group, and there were eggs as far as you could see at this wide open park. They were gone in 2 minutes.
It's crazy.
Just they sound the fire truck siren, and the kids just go crazy. And Evelyn came back. She's like, "I only got 8 eggs." And she's walking, and they're just falling out the top of her
How
face.
did she get so many?
Because
I
it
thought
was
a
4
game
and
of
under. So Molly,
speed and agility.
Molly was at the top of the pack.
Oh, okay. So it was a different pack.
I
Okay.
was taking eggs out of Molly's thing and going and set them by like little toddlers who could barely walk, who were, picking up dandelions instead of the egg, like moving the egg out of the way so they could get to the flower.
Right.
But they're great. That's great stuff. Beautiful pictures. Of all of the holiday pictures you can take, man, the spring, Easter, if Easter is late enough in the year where everything is blooming and green and beautiful, I just love that. My background on my phone is an Easter picture of my kids.
Oh.
You know who's really offended by hearing that potatoes are more sustainable? Anybody who lived through the Great Irish Potato Famine.
It's kind of even insensitive to talk like that about potatoes.
I agree.
These-
PETA should be sued.
They don't even think or care about anything but themselves.
Right. Irish immigrants. Everybody with Irish heritage should sue them.
Also weird to be
The sounder
it's-
already played. I didn't know.
for PETA to be advocating for the protection and preservation of eggs, and PETA to be pretty much aligned with the pro-abort community is the biggest hypocrisy that exists. So screw your potatoes.
12 tons of Kit Kats stolen.
No!
Yes, it's true. It's terrible.
Oh, chocolate and wafer.
Gone.
12 tons.
Every time she starts talking, we just do it again.
12 tons of Kit Kat bars were stolen in Europe after a truck carrying more than 400,000 bars disappeared en route from England to Poland. Nestle says the truck and cargo are still missing. The company noted the stolen chocolate can be tracked through batch codes. Officials say cargo theft remains a growing issue. Annie, are you okay with Kit Kats?
Yeah, I love Kit Kats. They're underrated, and the most fun thing you can do with a Kit Kat, like a full-size Kit Kat, is get one and just take a bite out
Right
of it.
in the
Like,
middle.
you just
Yep.
so that your mouth is, and then just like leave it for people to see.
Yeah, I
Some
agree.
people who cannot handle that.
No, it's making me super uncomfortable to talk about.
Although
you gotta
right now-
chew off all the chocolate
How long are you
going
gonna
to
be here at work? Because I'm
and-
going to go do that to your
No,
desk.
don't. No.
To be
Or not
very
to be.
respectful and, to make sure that you're not eating stolen chocolate. You do before you do eat a Kit
You
Kat,
do before
right?
you do. What are we
before
doing?
you
There's a little too many
Very
doo-doos in that
poetic.
sentence.
I'm just imploring the St. Louis people to check their batch codes before they eat a Kit Kat.
As if any candy in your possession was recalled, you would even consider a batch code before eating it.
I'll check the batch code for you. Bring it here. Drop it off. Who are these people?
Kit Kat fans.
All right. New study shows mayonnaise is a musical instrument.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, in a study nobody asked for. A new study backed by Hellman says mayonnaise can technically be used as a musical instrument.
Oh, this is just big mayonnaise propaganda.
Researchers found it can produce
Big mayo?
sounds in ways that meet the basic definition of an instrument. The study...
Wait.
Hold on. Let me finish the story first because it might clear up. The study was inspired by a long-running SpongeBob SquarePants joke.
Never seen it.
Patrick, okay, well, then you're not going to be okay with it.
I'm the only one,
it,
so just go ahead and...
Patrick
Anyway.
the Starfish. Go ahead.
They spent a bunch of money and did a study, and mayonnaise is technically a musical instrument. Annie, are you okay with SpongeBob?
I've never seen an episode of SpongeBob. I'm sorry.
Scoop my question.
I don't know that I'm not okay with it, but I think that I've passed it. I've moved past SpongeBob.
It's still pretty hip.
Yeah. I mean it's sustained popularity over generations at this point, much like Simpsons. Simpsons did a collaboration with Fortnite, and my kids got exposed to Simpsons, and now my son wants to watch Simpsons. He's been watching
weird.
Simpsons a lot, and I was like, my parents still don't let me watch The Simpsons, and here you are streaming The Simpsons all the time.
Watch seasons 3 through 10.
Simpsons?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pass on that.
No, you're for your son if he wants to watch it.
Well, you tell him.
I will, but I'm not friends with him on Facebook or anything, so I'm just trying to convey the message.
What are you gonna
through
do?
you.
Show up?
I'm just trying to help him. Dear Lord.
I think he's probably past season 10 at this point. How many episodes in a season of The Simpsons?
Well, there were at that time about 25 per season. I don't think they're making that many now. Wow. But it's still on. I mean, they're still making new episodes.
All right. Trisha, you a big SpongeBob fan?
No, I was at one point. Not anymore. I think Ethan is. I think it's real jazzed about it.
Is that what you put on from him out there when he gets upset and needs to calm down? Brad,
the sound.
You a SpongeBob fan?
No, but if I get upset, you put it on, maybe it'll work. I don't know.
Let's give it a shot.
cathartic.
Make him feel real cool. Get his own little TV and says
when
a Kit Kat snack.
This moment in your life, when they got me a TV, they put SpongeBob on. They gave me
And they said it'll be okay.
A couple of milk duds.
Little blankie.
Rocking back and forth.
Do you like SpongeBob, Ryan?
I don't dislike it. It can be pretty funny.
Would you let your kids watch it?
Yeah, we've watched it before. Usually we're in a hotel somewhere watching SpongeBob.
That's where I watch all my non-Fox News.
Kind of weird. Vagrant life we live.
All right, let's take a quick break. Trisha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Jimmy Fallon in the house, and I cannot wait to see you finally, April 11th. Although we're not calling it a redo because we never did the thing in the first place. You can't have a sequel if you don't have an original. Get your tickets at 971talk.com/events.
Here's something I run into a lot with younger homeowners, and happened to be with my little boy. He was looking at purchasing homes. This house had a 20-plus-year-old furnace and air conditioner. And, of course, my advice was never buy a house with that old of an air conditioner. You will be buying a new one. And he goes, well, how much does a new one cost? For his size home, I told him figure tens of thousands to over $20,000. If you're looking at a house, my personal opinion is make sure it's a newer unit. If not, request buyers to put in a newer unit. That makes it easier on your 15 or 30-year mortgage if it's included in the loan. Just my piece of advice for that. But if you're hearing this after the fact and you do need a new air conditioner, sorry to hear that, but call me, Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers. It is 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. God bless.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. We are in the 6th hottest real estate market in the country, Stewie. What can buyers in St. Louis do to gain that advantage with you?
You know what, Mark? It's real simple. Number one, the Bagel loan. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. The Big Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Take that money you're saving, add it to the bid, beat all the other offers out. Number 2, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. What does that mean? We pre-approve you for the maximum amount that you qualify for. You can then go into our portal and edit the letter and raise it or lower it to any amount you want up to the amount you pre-approved. No waiting for the loan officer, no waiting for anybody else. It's all in your hands. And the third thing, we can close in 10 days. That's a big deal. If you go to the seller and say, hey, here's my offer. It may not be the best, but we can close quick. Everybody else is 30 days out. You know it's going to happen quickly with our reputation. Big bam boom, you got the house of your dreams.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Don't you know it? No. I was going to make a
wish.
Pam Bondi joke.
Not from noon to 3, it's not.
You don't feel like that?
Heck no.
You actually run the show.
That is not true. Brad runs this show.
Well, then it is a man's world.
But
I am outnumbered.
yeah, that's true too. Do you think that way when I'm out of the office, though? Is it like, the whole dynamic of the show changed because there's less men here?
Part of your statement. Part of your statement is true. I will let you determine which part. Last night I was watching some old videos on our Annie Frey YouTube channel and reminiscing a little bit and thinking about other stuff I could do, videos and just content to show you guys some behind the scenes stuff. And my kids, first of all, there's the video of when I said shart on the air that my
classic.
kids think, you want to talk about Max Riz, whatever the opposite of that is, that YouTube video of me accidentally putting the word shop smart together in an ad. Not peak Riz moment for Annie Frey at all. But also one of the things that they tell their friends, like, you got to see this.
Yeah.
Not cool. But I was going through and we were watching some of the YouTube shorts that have been put up, and I was crying laughing last night.
Oh, yeah?
Crying laughing. The one that makes me laugh the most, and you'd have to go into the Annie Frey YouTube channel and watch it for yourself, but I talk about how I played basketball in Calhoun County and I found my groin.
Oh, yeah.
And you just say in the background, hey, I sprained my wiener. Like, there are things that I'll be telling a story and I don't even know that you say some of these things.
Yeah, because you have to stay
I'm
on
telling
task.
a story. I'm the straight man here, and Ryan's not.
Yeah. I can just sort of sit back in my chair just like this. Just sort of yell something every now and then.
Yes, I just was laughing so hard. There were so many funny things. I'm going to make a new playlist, and it's just going to be funny AF. And you can go through and watch all of the funny YouTube shorts, and it's just some of the silliest things happening on this show that just make me laugh. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed most of the time you, or when Ethan comes in here and you two fight. That's kind of nice for me. I just get to observe.
You get to sit back and just sort of yell into the mic.
Yeah, no, just laugh.
Or whatever.
Just laugh.
You know what I did not point out? Today, Ethan nominated me with Odyssey points for Employee of the Month or something like that.
No,
I don't know.
He just gave you 10 Odyssey points.
Whatever
I
it
got him
was,
as well.
it was a great honor, and I appreciated it. And he acknowledged that he did this on his own.
What did your email say? Because
I don't know. It said he gave me some points.
I think Brad's trying to take some wind out of your sails.
I don't
here.
like that he also got nominated.
Yeah, because mine said for being a good boy. And I was like, I am offended.
I haven't checked my email, but I don't think he nominated me.
I don't think he should have. I think this is something that he probably should have left Brad off of.
The email doesn't even say nominated; it says recognized.
Well, I may be putting certain words in there that
Did
sound
you feel
a little
cool,
better.
Brad, when you got that email?
No, I felt offended. He called me a good boy.
Could have called you a bad boy.
He told me
I wouldn't have liked that much
that
better.
he was doing it in spite of me. So that I assumed that meant that I had done such a good job. That
it doesn't matter what the story is or the details. That is what you always assume.
Regardless
that you
of
have
the
just been absolutely killing it.
interpersonal relationship that we have.
Go
He's
back to the
acknowledging
time
professionally
where you said you
you're
got
killing it.
promoted from being like the mail getter and you started criticizing the company's website.
That happened over the span of about 24 hours at that company.
That's amazing.
That's a real story.
YouTube live chat poll. Brad, where's the most powerful place a U.S. president can deliver a speech? At the White House podium, Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or somewhere else?
Absolutely 100% Resolute desk.
100%. Ryan, where?
Podium.
The POTUS is Podium.
You want to take another stab at that, Mr. Cool Man? No, he's saying I'm tapping out. 200 votes in today's YouTube live chat poll. 9% of you said somewhere else. 35% of you goofballs agree with Ryan at the podium, and 56% say sitting at the Resolute desk in the Oval. I missed it when you had kidney stones and when you laughed this hard that you'd kind of pee your pants and be in pain. Are you gonna be okay, man? No, you can't even talk. Mark Reardon, come help. He needs help.
So beat the drum. Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
Do you have outstanding credit card debt? Put that tax refund to work.
Picture this as really a guaranteed tax-free return